Thank you for the reminder.
Okay, here we go. So, um, the auction went off successfully. You guys had brought in all the bidders, and in the end, House Fjarlin is going to be the proud recipient of 1,000,000 gold pieces in profit for the information of the whereabouts of Kara Irvath, which will be given to the representative of the Eyes of Ondare. For recounting's sake, that is Sira Irvalia. I'm going to do my best to keep up with the names as I go about. She managed to accumulate that much gold through associations through Dorian Cannith, representing Cannith West, and the original alliance with House Lyrandar, represented by, where are you, lady? There she is, Melisara de Lyrandar. Through this small alliance of bidders, the large sum was accumulated, 1,000,000 gold pieces for the information. Holden suggested the party take leave as soon as possible and left himself, quick as can be. The rest of the party did so as well. Ludvig, being head of security, taking his job very seriously, decided to hold back, make sure everybody got out. Most of the bidders did. Some of the bidders did not, as they decided to hang around and celebrate. That is when the house was locked down by the host of the party, who, as a reminder, is the Crimson Butcher, or otherwise known as the Warlord Vron Irmordog. He let know to his whole party, all the guests still present, that he had been robbed, and that the thief in question was one Holden Lackyard, and a close associate of Viceroy Ludvig Eardrager. Got a weird name, Viceroy. Viceroy Ludvig Eardrager to Leora? We're still figuring it out. Ludvig was arrested. His sentinel defender of House Deneth was sent off by Ludvig to tell the rest of the party and help out the rest of the party with what had happened. And Ludvig was subsequently not tortured nearly as bad as it could have been, but nonetheless was briefly drowned to extract some information by the Crimson Butcher. But it was, all in all, a strangely polite interaction, on Ludvig's side especially, impressing and catching the Crimson Butcher off guard. Let's see. Soren managed to get out. He told all of you. Lois and Cross found in your rooms the information Holden had extracted from House Mordock, which was tons of blackmail, tons of relevant information about the last war, personal information, including a personal journal, very sensitive information, which you two were like, we need to get the hell out of Korth with post haste. You divided the information, and through a House Orion secure courier, sent half to your lawyer in Ondare, Marina de Madani, and the other half to Korenberg with Lois's contacts. Cross also organized that information be released should anything happen to House Leora by the hands of the Crimson Butcher. Incredible. Lois and Rowan went to save Ludvig, as Rowan very subsequently found out about the Mound Hunt, as a number of individuals from the party, mercenaries, nobles, and such, came and started, questioning Rowan for the whereabouts of Holden. Rowan gave him the same line: "I do not know. Feel free to check his room. Leave me alone." So you went to the Crimson Butcher's house, leaving Cross behind, who set up this failsafe. You spoke with the Crimson Butcher, who revealed Ludvig was all in all, a healthy state. When Rowan suggested that she stay as second collateral, the Crimson Butcher seemed to force his power in that moment and demanded Lois stay instead. And Lois used the opportunity to start sowing seeds of doubt in the Crimson Butcher's own Deneth defenders regarding some of the blackmail that was found. and also playing with the psyche of her captor through the knowledge found in his personal journals that told of his fears and his doubts and anxieties, and Lois played to those weaknesses and seemed to sort of scrape away at the confidence of the Crimson Butcher. Rowan, on her way to whatever she was going to do next, was waylaid by a one Mr. Shadow, a changeling who seemed very interested in Holden, Viceroy Holden de Leora, and offered his assistance in making the night go as smooth as possible. Cross sent out Bastion to keep an eye on him as he began to conduct his investigation. He said, "What if I was to give you either an Ondarian spy or the creature, this infiltrator at the masquerade who you all thought to either use as a scapegoat or believed was responsible for, in part, some of the problems that went that night?" And he said, "What if I can get you the spy, but not the creature?" You guys said, "If it falls in your lap, go for it." Bastion quickly, or not Bastion, he's dead. Shell quickly came back and revealed that Mr. Shadow found traces of blood in the room of your Eyes of Ondare bidder, uh, uh, Sira Irvalia. In her room, there was some blood in which Mr. Shadow began to create the idea that she had been captured and possibly replaced by Mr. Creature, who was suspected to be a House Thorani spy, capable of shadowy illusions, and maybe had replaced Sira Irvali at some point. And that was the running theory. Mr. Shadow ran in and said, "Let's organize the information handoff and we'll grab the creature, possibly the creature, at the handoff if the creature's still impersonating Sira." So, Mr. Shadow, Viceroy Ludwig's Deneth Defender, Soren, there it is, Shell, and the rest of House Fjarland's shadows, and Adrian, your point of contact with House Fjarland, all basically jumped Sira and captured for you your House Thurani spy creature, giving the party exceptional leverage to possibly get their House Leora Viceroys back. You have the creature in hand, you have who, was an impersonator who got in, you have the blackmail at your fingertips. You don't have Holden, but you have quite a bit of leverage on your side. So we are going to pick up the session. It is late at night. Lois is, yeah, you're captured. So Rowan and Cross, we're going to say you two are sitting in one of the rooms at the King's Grace Inn, waiting for possible success from your companions. This is where we're going to get to meet the creature, which is cool, instead of just skimming over it. You guys are waiting, maybe sitting. I'll ask if there's anything that you two would like to speak about or discuss of any relevance, or do we want to just,
Yes,
or do
there
you guys
is.
kind of sit and, okay, go for it. So while your agents of choice have been sent out to possibly capture your adversary, what would you two like to talk about?
I think what you and Lois did were really smart. I think we need to set up maybe perhaps a relay where we need to check in every so many hours, and if we don't, the information gets released.
Well, we'll need to have a messaging station on standby then, but
I think we can do that here, right?
we'll have to meet with the butcher later, depending on how things go with the creature.
I'm going to tell you what I saw. He was perfectly happy to torture someone that he knew for a fact did not have what he was looking for. This is not a man who is playing politics. He's bored. He wants to make war. I think this is going to require a significant show of strength. It can't be military strength. We're going to have to maneuver him. But I don't think we're going to be able to, like I tried I tried carrot. I think we're going to have to do this with stick.
Well, that's fine by me. I gotta say, the longer this has been going on, it's almost odd. If he had any degree of certainty that Holden had stolen what he'd stolen, then he knew what we had. Why antagonize us?
He reminds me of a bugbear.
How how so?
No real discipline. Not really. He wants what he wants when he wants it. He's big and mean. But think
Oh,
about it. Even his successes are bolstered by what? Not war, but by blackmail. Right?
it's
We're
true.
dealing with someone who only knows hurt, which means we only win this by hurting him somehow. And it can't be military because we ain't got that.
It's almost disappointing. When I think of a successful warlord, I think of someone with at least some degree of a tactical mind. I mean, he even went out of his way to display his plans for on dare on a wall.
Who does that?
Specific, but I just, Lois had it right on the money. It's just ego.
We hear all these things, right? But who would have ever thought that I would find more military discipline in Rukon Drawl than in fucking Karnath? All right. So here's one thing we got. Do you know the details of what they were blackmailing House Deneath for?
It was there's a town that was being protected. I'm think this is based on my memory, so correct me if I'm wrong here, Ryan. There was a town that was being protected by House Deneath, and this individual sold them down the river, gave them up to their enemies.
All right.
What are we referencing right now?
The blackmail material for Deneath
Yeah,
that was in the thing.
It's the same one Lois talked
Oh,
about.
we're just listing off the
Yeah.
black.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, something about Bordertown during the last war against his own house. So yeah,
Yeah, I can list that back to you if you want.
yeah.
And then I need to ask a question about what I saw
Okay.
when we were actually in this space.
Got it. So here is the information that you found in the but there's two vaults of information that Holden accessed. The first one was basically the blackmail vault. There was dozens of sealed letters, scandalous correspondences, and signed confessions from nobles, generals, even priests. There was a signed contract from a prominent House Deneth commander admitting to selling out a border town during the last war. There was a audio crystal, or a crystal sort of storing an audio message that spoke of Vol's sympathies. This individual seems to be some member of King Caius III's inner circle. You don't know who that is. Mr. Shadow said that there's a good chance he could identify it for you if you wanted. There is also a true list of the dead from the Red Gorge Massacre, half of whom were marked down to have never officially actually been there. So basically there's people on that list that were unaccounted for, missing in
I have
actions.
a question about the Vol sympathizer.
Yeah.
How much do I know about like the relationship that the Khan Nathi royal family has with the blood of Vol?
Make me a history check.
Okay, this is something I can actually roll history for, even though I'm mostly amnesiac. Well, that's terrible. That's a 4.
You could have been religion or history if you wanted. Not that I think it matters too much with that role, unfortunately.
I mean, if I make it religion, then it's actually significantly higher.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Make it religion.
Let's see. That'll be 11 then.
11. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not gonna give you all the details, but you were aware of the monarch before King Caius III, who you think was his aunt or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically swapped the national religion back to the sovereign host and didn't outlaw the blood of bull, but basically like put it on the fringes of like what's
Yeah.
ethically acceptable. So basically, yeah. Um, so they're still acknowledged, but like it still exists. It's still an acknowledged religion. People still worship it. It's not illegal or anything. But to be on that height of a political stage and still to be actively religious
Yeah.
against the royal families, it's big drama.
I think knowing that it's not illegal, then because I was thinking in terms of like, obviously there's the who's this mysterious like royal sympathizer. I'm also wondering like how deep shit is the warlord in for not telling anyone?
Um, that's a good question.
Is that considered like a massive betrayal of the like
Oh,
of
it
the
would
king?
to it's big shaky grounds. It's easily like it could easily be spun to like, well, if you're protecting them, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
shake it's nothing explicit, but it can be very
It's like
easily pointed back around at.
yeah, the word treason or treasonous could be other.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. That's what I need.
And then I have a question. Rowan was in the place. Other than the defenders, did he seem to have his own non-dragon marked air security people running around?
Uh, I think so. But not like as a part of the night security. House Deneth was definitely like major security. It's tricky to say because like everybody in Karnath is military, so it's hard to pick out like who's on the security staff versus who's like a confidant versus who's a guest. So the answer is yes, there was Karnathi military personnel on site.
All right. So, what I am wondering, because we do have some blackmail to exchange, maybe instead of exchanging it with the good warlord, we exchange it with the Sentinel Marshals instead. Offer them the blackmail on House Deneth just because we're being nice, right? If we get out of this, take it, do what you will with it, right? This is from the last war, manage it. But also there were some other pieces. And if you can call the defenders down, help us get our people out, we will hand them over to you. It seems like the kind of thing that would make a law like that a lawman might be interested in. But before I wake him up in the middle of the night with the sending, what do you think?
There's an active manhunt for us as it is, so I feel like walking into the Sentinel Marshal's office is just begging for detainment, and that would stall things. There's also, while the Deneth official setting up the border town is certainly damaging for Deneth in a way to maybe spur to dissuade the warlord's guards from intervening. The audio crystal is, I think, the most damaging thing we have. It's straddling the line of treason, certainly a betrayal of the king by keeping that information under lock and key. It's something the king should be informed of, not kept in the dark. And that, well, if you guards discover that the person they're serving is a traitor to their nation, how quickly do you think they'll defend him then?
I see what you're saying. But a quick show of strength is walking in, getting the defenders to stand down, getting our people out, and walking the fuck away. If I don't even know if it's possible. I am disinclined simply to go back in there, though.
Without proper protection, walking in could easily just result in our deaths. He may see the potential of mutually assured destruction and take the road of destruction.
Exactly. We should probably let Adrian know what's going on.
I'll say at which point the door opens, or there's a knock on the door, in fact, actually. So it is late. And you will hear through the door, it's Adrian. We've got him. Outside, he's like, to the others.
Bring him
That's
in.
Great. Bring him in.
Door opens. You're going to see Mr. Shadow, Adrian, and Soren and Shell enter the room. Mr. Shadow looking very pleased with himself. And Soren and Shell sort of one arm each hauling in the lady. So she's manacled behind her back, kind of held like so, but like ankles dragging sort of thing, is hauled into the room, kind of thrown onto the floor. And in the middle of the room, and kind of sits up and looks around a little bit like a caged animal. Mr. Shadow says, 2 for the price of 1, as requested.
How strangely convenient. Nice to meet you again. What do we would call you? Creature or on dare?
The Ondarian spy sort of sighs and kind of looks around and is going to kind of like wince, and there's going to be a small flash, very, very small, nothing blinding, just like from around sort of like the neck area, and the disguise will fade away, and you're going to see a rather young elven man. He has undercut, short brown hair, tied back into a bun, sort of Geralt style that kind of just hangs low, but he is in the dress. So he's cross-dressed. Okay. I will reveal what the guy looks like now. And he looks around with like, you see his like teeth are like grit together, and and his eyes are kind of wild, and there's a clear expression of, I'm in deep shit. Like he like his nervous system's freaking out, but there is a look of like thrill in his face. He goes, damn. Yeah, you got me. Yes, you got me. Fuck, I was close. Fuck.
Shockingly, you're not even like the top of my list of problems right now.
Good. Pleasure to meet you all. And can I just say, they threw a great auction. Just
the question is whether or not we give you to the warlord as a scapegoat, because you're looking real good for it right now.
Right. Yeah. That's how it goes. Right.
Ain't it though?
I'll be honest. I'd love to weasel my way out of this, but you got me. I don't.
And it's not like you have fucked over dragon marked houses and like a country. Well done. Your hide is worth an awful lot right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm holding it together, but honestly, I'm pretty fucking scared.
You should be, because I got 2 people, one of whom is being tortured, that I got to get out. And you're only worth what I can make use of you right now.
I didn't even know. I was just trying to figure out what we're up to. I didn't know this would be a whole auction. That's really a surprise.
Yeah.
Took me for a surprise. How'd you find out? How did you find out?
Oh, no, 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 no. That ain't what we're doing here.
Sorry, just professional
All right.
curiosity.
And she'll look at Adrian.
As a fine note, I will put this forth. Are either of you capable of the disguise self spell?
Rowan
Okay.
is.
I'll give you something fun here, Ron. You know disguise self changes appearance. It does not change voice. And you'll notice, you don't know if it was a magic item or what it was, but he had a very convincing impersonation voice of Syrah. Very, very impressive indeed. And has now swapped to a sort of lighter male tone with the Carnathy accent. So he had a perfect feminine Ondarian accent copying Syrah.
Hey,
As far as you can tell.
choice.
Just as a fun note, I guess.
Well, thank you.
I will say Soren says we did find the location of the true bidder, and he'll look at Adrian. Adrian says, "My shadows have been sent to free her, reobtain her.
Thank you so much.
Too much trouble."
This might seem like a, I don't know, worrying line of questioning, but Adrian, how good are your shadows in a fight?
They're built for infiltration. They're more meant for not being seen and obtaining information than, well, he kind of looks at the Thurani that you have captured and he says, assassination. He says, but they're capable enough. I mean, I wouldn't send them against a Deneth, but, well, it depends on the Deneth, of course. I wouldn't send them against, say, Soren here.
I would like
No,
to remove
please.
creature from the room before we talk about our problem. Cross, you place particular like would you feel comfortable letting Shell escort this individual, or would you rather Soren
I
take
just
the
think my
individual
to
out of the
Shell
room?
and as if it's a Shell to take him out. Just take him over.
Shell grabs him by the back of the scuff of the shirt, and just starts dragging him out backwards to probably your room, Cross. And he goes, okay, it was good talking with you all. And the door kind of closes. He's like, you can hear like the rattle of his jaw. Like he knows he's in deep shit and he's scared, but he's trying to use humor to cope with it. But Shell removes him.
Let's read Adrian into everything.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, Mr. Shadow, Soren, and Adrian are present in the room. Just so you know. And you can fill them all in.
Yeah.
Skip.
I kind of looked at Rowan. Assassins might be arguably the one thing we might need here.
I am not opposed to hiring assassins to get my people out. Adrian, what counsel would you have?
As a heir of House Fjarlin, I'm inclined, it feels natural to say, don't hire the Thurani, and that we're also capable of assassination-like skills. But as a genuine advisor, we're not on home turf here, and I can't exactly bring out, new agents. My shadows are capable to some extent. Like I said, though, I don't know how they would hold up against the defenders at the manor. If you're thinking about hiring Thurani, I might go ahead.
All I want is to get my people out I can get my people out without doing any significant damage, that would be my preference. But I am not opposed to going nuclear to get my people out. It
I'd
is
also
whatever is
say,
necessary.
yeah, I'd also say that, in a sense, Fiona may prefer it if we let let Thorani walk into the line of fire.
Soren will say, there is something worth considering. It's a long-standing agreement we have in House Deneath is that we will not fight our own. If, say, a Karnathi warlord sends us against an Ondarian fort, and that Ondarian fort is occupied by House Deneath, we will not attack. So the same logic could be used. If you're wanting to go in and have assurances against House Deneath, he'll look at your defender, Rowan, and say, bring Dennett defenders. It would be a stalemate. We wouldn't be allowed to fight each other by the rules of our house. So the warlord couldn't technically arrest you. At least not through Deneath. We would all have to stand down.
That has the double-edged effect of you won't defend us either.
It knocks out more than half of his forces.
Well, defense and attack are two different things. We couldn't attack, but we also couldn't. I don't see why we couldn't defend. It means that his defenders can't attack or attempt to arrest you as long as we're defending you. Mr. Shadow will say, I'm just going to say, the Crimson Butcher has a bit of a reputation. Brutal up close, but known to be strategic. He might have other tricks up his sleeve. It sounds to me like you have a good horde of shit against him. It might be enough.
Based on what I've been told, he's more likely to take the, as you describe it, Rowan, the nuclear option when faced with what we have.
Right, like literally we went in and said, listen, we will help you get what you want. We will help you get it back. And instead of bargaining in good faith, they took another hostage. So like he's already made it clear that he's not going to bargain in good faith. Like he's already demonstrated that.
And Mr. Shadow says, and that's fair, but you didn't have leverage last time. Now you do. You have an offering with this Thurani guy, and you have his personal blackmail in his diary that you can put on the Kornberg Chronicle. So you've got an offering of tribute, and you got a backup safety option if he decides to fuck with you.
I mean, I'm loath to offer him anything at the end of all this.
As am I.
Mr. Shadow says, but that is the name of diplomacy, isn't it? Everyone feels like they got fucked over.
No. I understand what you're saying. But there's a certain kind of person that will do diplomacy, and there's a certain kind of person that simply will not. There are certain kinds of people, I remember this lesson, there are certain kinds of people that will only back down if they are being personally hurt. And I worry that this warlord, because he's already shown that he takes a certain amount of pleasure just in doing the hurting, that he's more interested in being a bully than he is in actually getting his shit back. Because if he wanted his shit back, he'd have dealt with this in the first place. I don't know that you can do diplomacy with someone who has no interest in diplomacy. And that is my concern. Right now, we can't even, in good conscience, walk in there.
Mr. Shadow says, I gotta say, in all fairness, he let you go, Rowan. I mean, he had every ability to arrest you and torture all three of you and lock you up. And if he was like a true brutalist, he would have just taken all of you. I mean,
all right.
I hear what you're saying. The guy's got a reputation, though, of being unpredictable. He seems brutal at times, but then he also seems logical at times.
I've read his diary. The man's unstable.
Exactly. It's hard to tell. But all I'll say is, if you start trading blows, then I don't know. But right now you got a neutral thing you can work out.
All right. Cross, what do you think?
I think there's maybe a slight misunderstanding of what diplomacy is or can be. And in many cases, it can be compromised and everyone walking away as if they got fucked over, in your words, Mr. Shadow. But there's also bribery and domination, bullying someone until they submit to your demands. That is also diplomacy. It's not pretty or honorable, but it can be effective.
I would very much like to impale him and hang his body from the front of his bastion. I can't do that right now. So whatever it takes.
There is one thing, and I love that suggestion, by the way.
Can we make it happen?
Oh,
Soren's like, no, we cannot kill a Carnathi warlord in the middle of Korth.
All right, well then, we'll table that for the time being.
He's no stranger to blackmail, and I cannot help but feel a certain desire to I want to make him mine.
Do it. Done.
Adrian
What do
says,
we need to do?
We need to stay cool here. I get that there's a lot going on here. Look, I'm not an advisor here. I'm just here for the auction advisory. I'm not here to advise about hostage exchange. But all I know is that when you're in deep shit, you gotta keep a cool head. I know that you're all wound up because he's got two of your friends, but if you start thinking about revenge, vengeance, and letting emotion into it, it's going to ruin things.
No, that's for later. You're right. Of course you're right. Of course you're right.
I mean, my suggestion wasn't motivated by revenge. I just think it would be
practical
to have a Carnathi warlord on a leash, per se.
If you can turn it around, let's make it happen. All right, what's the plan? You can't just walk in there. There's no guarantee he's going to let you walk out. I don't know how to get you in there and actually negotiate.
Adrian says, as a failsafe, it seems that most of his defenses are the Deneth defenders, which, if Lord Deneth here says is correct, are basically rendered neutral by the pact between House Deneth, which means that you don't have to worry about the rest of you. The rest of his Carnathi guard that's present, if that is what we're seeing, I'm pretty sure my shadows can back you up if you need to get out. And Lord Deneth, can you at least get them out? And Soren says, we can get all of you out so long as, we can defend you. We can't attack other Deneth members for you and vice versa. So we can get you two out, but we can't get, Ludvig and Lois out, because that requires us to attack members of our house. So we can defend you. We can't attack you for you.
Would it be helpful, Soren, for us to contract with House Deneth for more defenders for us right now?
Mr. Shadow says, before you answer, is that what we want to do, though? You want to go marching down the street with an army of Deneths?
No, it's not.
Especially considering they're rendered neutral by more Deneths on the property?
Actually, I was really just thinking of, in case we needed to deal with not the Deneths, but the military presence that's there, right? Because the Deneths can't attack, but there are other military who can. That is specifically what I am thinking of neutralizing, that and only that. And I'm not talking about hiring an army. I mean, a couple, three more.
Soren says, it's tricky, especially trying to hire more Deneth to confront someone who's already hired the services of House Deneth. It's tricky. It might be bureaucracy to go through.
All right, that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Mr. Shadow says, come on, what are we waiting for? You've got the spy to hand over like he wants. You've got, tribute, whatever. You've got this blackmail in your back pocket. I mean, he clearly respects the power of blackmail. So use that against him. Let's go get people.
I can't remember. Did Rowan tell Cross that she was trying to get a hold of Ludwig's dad?
Oh, actually, now that I think about it, she would have. But in case not, yeah, because that was something that she did. She said that she was going to do. So she
Yeah,
did
you
say she
already
was going to
had.
do it. So I will confirm that.
Yeah.
I do have this name that Ludwig's dad sent. And I will present the name. And yes,
Have we heard anything further from the Eardragers?
nope, just go see this guy.
They're quite a ways away, unfortunately.
They're not close.
No.
Do we read in Ludwig's family?
If they're too far to act on it, let's just not waste time.
All right. Cross, I'm going to let you take lead on this because you're more familiar with the information, right?
That, yes. And I lived in Cardiff for a while, and I mean, you know as well as anyone that I'm a machine built for war. On some level, I mean, the warlord ain't that much different. So, blackmail and shows of force come far more naturally to me than compromise.
Do what needs doing. I will back your hands.
As for the creature, Eberron, can you keep a hold of him? I don't want to just let him go.
Who'd you refer to?
Adrian.
Adrian. He says, I can keep him secured outside the estate until such a time as an exchange has been arranged, if that's what you would like.
Sure. I want Shell by my side.
I agree.
Soren will say Shell is a free agent after all. He would be more useful than we defenders, for offense anyway. Mr. Shadow says, all right, I'll stay here. Because, I don't know, do you want me to? I feel like I've done my job.
You stay here.
I have something I want to talk with you about as well, Mr. Shadow. We'll take care of that when all is said and done.
I will be waiting. You guys are a ton of fun.
Well, right. Rowan, shall we be off?
Absolutely. I would like to remind you that I am dressed for business. I am no longer in an evening gown, etc., etc. All right.
Got it. Your defender's ready to go. Rowan, Soren will go with. So you guys have a fairly motley crew coming with you. Two of which have been rendered only on the defense by the Deneath House rules. But you still have a small covert army of shadows on standby. You've got Adrian watching the creature. You guys all bundle into your carriage and make your way down the street. Your Dunnet defenders will sort of stay outside the carriage and kind of watch and make sure that there's no strange, weird ambushes or anything like that.
As we're sat in the carriage on the way, Cross is going to take off his hat and his scarf and fully face on display. And so I think it's the first time Rowan gets a chance to actually see the full extent of Cross's damage, where it's just a good third of their skull, I guess, has just been blasted away, and mist just pours out.
The creature, I assume, is being held inside the carriage, which would be the most secure transportation. So yeah, he like backs against the seat a little bit. Oh fuck, the Crimson Butcher. All right.
Best of luck.
Yeah, he's like, hey, before we get there, I just like big respect. You guys are good at what you do. I can see that. That's clear.
Do you have any backbone? Well, spies are supposed to be confident and suave.
He isn't a spy. He's a guy who
I,
shot a shot.
Hey, I'm a spy. Thank you very much. I've been training since I was little, but I've never been in this much shit before. So I'm a spy. Well, I'm an assassin, really. So I'm a little new to the spy stuff. I'm more of a stab you in the dark kind of guy.
Hmm.
So this has been quite the journey. Shit. I mean, wouldn't you be freaking out? I mean, you got captured, being handed over to the Crimson Butcher, a lot of hot water. No one really knows
Too bad
where
we're
you
meeting
are.
under these circumstances.
Yeah, too
I can
bad.
think of a few people I wouldn't mind hiring your services for.
Well, maybe in the next life, huh? Well, not that there is one or anything.
I'm gonna pat myself on the shoulder and cast enhance ability on myself for charisma.
Got
I'm
it.
gonna need this.
I will just say you guys get there. You are welcomed inside. Adrian stays in the carriage, or he hops into the carriage, replacing you guys to stay with your Thurani member. He will very quietly before you exit, sort of mention the two of you. He says, Syrah has been found and returned to her room, and the shadows are on standby in or near the premises of the manor, in case needed.
Thank you, Adrian.
Soren will sort of take the defensive lead, and he says, as I said, we are not leaving you. You are well defended. We cannot attack you as long as we're here. If Karnathi soldiers attack you, we can defend you. We cannot defend you against Deneth, but they're not allowed to attack us. That would be a breach. So you should technically be safe in our care. Let's do this. You get a little side eye across from Shell. Kind of rolls his eyes at you as if to say, like, all this for some fleshborn. It's kind of what you get. And you guys enter back into the estate. You are very cordially shown through like honored guests as you walk through with this sort of little military guards surrounding you guys, feeling pretty safe. You come to the middle of the room. Ludvig and Lois are not present. One of the soldiers will say, the warlord and the two viceroys will be present momentarily. Please feel free to take a seat, and if there's anything we can do to accommodate you, the warlord has told us to accommodate you however you wish. Food, drink, as you like. A couple of tables have been brought out of that sort of side hall, put around kind of decadently. You can see that there's definitely an element of like, this is like almost like a show. Like he's making a show for himself a little bit. He's got you guys like seats for you and a desk for him, and it's a bit of a show, and it's a little. This is really weird. He's clearly taking some entertainment value out of this.
Who's present? Like, is it just guards? Is there anyone else around?
No one of substantial relevance. There's Deneth guards. You see, a couple of the Karnathi soldiers on standby. The person you talk to be some kind of slightly higher ranked Karnathi soldier, but no one of particular relevance that you recognize.
Cross will take a seat.
Okay. Take a seat. Coming downstairs, Lois and Ludvig will be manacled to chairs. And by the way, you two, you've just been kind of...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay.
The instant senior douchebag
Sure.
presents manacles,
Yeah.
Lois is going to have a very pointed conversation with him.
Oh, he doesn't present it. His defenders present it. He'll be like, yeah. He says something about separating you guys, and then you guys
Oh
are kind of
no,
okay. By all means,
that's not on the table.
sure.
And at that point, if it's just the defenders and not him,
Right.
and it's the defenders,
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll be going now.
The defenders sort of look at each other and look back at you and say, "How's that?"
You do realize he's blackmailing your house, right?
No.
You do know that I can prove it.
Okay, prove it.
At which point she will rifle off what she can remember, which with keen intellect is most of it.
Okay,
The contract and who it was signed by.
got it. Okay,
The paper document is being escorted elsewhere.
okay.
All you have to do is go to the bathroom. Ludwig and I will leave.
They say, this is, yeah, not good.
The Senator Marshal's in town. Why don't you go get him?
We can get a message to the Sentinel Marshals, but you have to understand, this is going to be dealt with, but as it stands, we've been hired by the Warlord.
Mm-hmm.
Am I there?
No, you're definitely not.
Okay, sure, why not? I'm basically not here this game.
No, you're gonna be here in a moment, trust me. So they will say, we will send for the Sentinel Marshal. Absolutely, with this information, if you were able to provide it for Sentinel Marshal when they arrive.
Well, I'm happy to share what resides in my memory.
Right.
And the paper documentation will take some additional days because we've arranged for it to be safe.
Right. Okay. Well, if that's what you want, we can get a message out to the Sentinel Marshal if they have something you want to.
I am not going to be shackled, not by the likes of him. You may do as you see fit. Sequester me if needs be, but no.
They go.
It would behoove the relationship between two dragon-marked houses for that not to take place.
They kind of look at each other. You see, you've got them paused, but the other one's sort of.
Understand that there is material more valuable than your current contract with a thief and a blackmailer.
And the integrity of House Denise. Will we flip on our clients?
I'm not asking you to flip on your client.
And what are you asking us to do exactly?
If you cannot, by contract, allow us to walk, and I guarantee you, at no point in your contract is it explicitly written that you must shackle and bind whoever he says.
Kind of does. It says we are meant to serve him in a military capacity.
I'd like to see the contract.
I'm afraid that's not going to how this is going to work. We are more than happy to get a message out to the Sentinel Marshal if you want to.
I'm not going to be shackled.
Miss
And do you
Lady
really want to
DeCivis.
assault someone who is a marked heir of not one but two houses?
They kind of rub their brows. The other one sort of shoves the other one. I'll tell you what, make me an intimidation check to see if you can convince them to not shackle you.
Yeah. An 8.
An 8. They sort of hold up the manacles and say, Lady DeCivis, please, or Lady Leora, please. We don't want to have to do this.
I'm going to look at the one with the shackles and say, drop the shackles. Drop. Disarm.
Okay, commanding
That's a
him?
command.
He blinks and drops the manacles. The other one looks at it and recognizes that something's happened here.
We don't
Oh,
have
it's an
to
encounter,
do
my
this.
friend. Roll initiative. Yeah, with the 8, that's like, oh, she's casting magic. Get her. They will take the top of initiative. The one guy had to use his action to drop them, so I'm going to count that as part of his action. So he's going to be spent. The other one is absolutely going to go and try and grapple you. Make me an acrobatics or athletics check.
17.
17. I'm just getting out their stats. Here we go. You absolutely get around the first grapple attempt. He is going to try again with his multi-attack. Go for another one.
And that'll be a nat 20 for a 21.
Yeah, you absolutely dodge past both of his grapples. You're swinging around. This would be your turn. What would you like to do?
Oh, dear goodness.
So you're in a closed room. The door is locked behind them. I will say, yeah, there's a window, but you're probably up on the. No, yeah, you're up on the 3rd floor.
Third floor is fine. I will head to the window with a move.
Okay,
Bonus
they are
action.
both- They're going to both take
I will
reactions
misty
against
step.
you. Okay, bonus action, you misty step. So you misty step out of their range or through the window?
Through the window to the ground. Yeah.
Okay, you through the window. You're going to plummet. We're going to roll some d6s because it's a bit of a drop, my friend.
I got 30 feet if I can see the ground.
Well, so let me ask,
So-
are you misty stepping, like, because if you're misty stepping through the window, it's going to be perfectly horizontal and then you're going to drop with a single bonus action. Or do you want to
Okay,
run out
that's
of
fine.
their reach for upper? Okay.
That's fine.
That's going to be 10, 15. That's going to be 16 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground pretty hard. Is there... you got an action and movement left. Your sound is pretty loud as you hit the ground.
What side of the house am I on?
Oh man, I gotta pull up the. I didn't expect this situation. You are going to be. Yeah, this will take a minute. It's fine. You're in the gardens. You're in the walled gardens right now, if I'm recalling the structure of the building.
Okay. In that case, move will be move further into the garden itself,
Okay.
and action will be to hide.
Okay, fair enough. Make me a stealth check.
And 19.
19. Okay. You dive into the shrubbery, some bush. You hear through the window, essentially like, well, they say, Viceroy Leora is escaping. You're calling out the window. Viceroy Leora is escaping. The gnome, she's in the gardens. And which some people are going to run out. You're very good on your stealth. Let's see if the defenders are able to find you. Let's see. I'm just going to... There's a couple on the ground floor, and there would only be like... We'll just let the dice decide here. So there was in the main room. Okay. So there are quite a few defenders appear. They run into the garden. Let's see. They're going to start looking around, perception checks. They're going to use Sentinel's intuition to scan for you. Nope. One of them does find you, but he's quite far away. Quite a few actions are spent. They're going to point in your direction and say, like there, over there in the bush, in the shrubs. And there's going to be a expeditious retreat and charge you down. I'm just gonna roll for who would be close enough at that point. Two of them is expeditious to convert, and they're going to a couple attacks together. Go ahead and make me athletics or acrobatics checks. First one is a 12.
Yeah, well, I got a 5 and a 6.
Managed to grab onto you. The other one is going to sort of, dogpile, and they're going to, I think, unfortunately, take you captive. They know how to deal with spellcasters. There will be a sort of gagging that happens. But yeah, they like jump on you, cop style, start manacling you, and I'll say that they grab you. I'm sorry to say.
I will absolutely, if given the opportunity, bite one of them.
You absolutely get a bite in. It's like, oh, fucking bitch. And the other one manages.
I specifically want to goad the. Let me back that up one step.
Yep.
These are all beneath defenders.
The ones that these two guys who have you in this moment in this particular round. Yeah.
Absolutely, I am endeavoring to goad them to physically assault me.
Got it. Unfortunately, they don't, well, not unfortunately at all. They don't beat you up. They do like grab you and then dive on top of you with their weight and quickly get a gag on you, but not before you will say, yes, you can get a bite off. Piss one of them off. And they don't punch you or throw you against a wall or anything, but it's certainly not a like, Miss, like Viceroy Leora, if you please. It definitely becomes a like dragging you through the hall, like throwing you. When they release you, they throw you into a barred cage with no windows at that point, manacled and gagged. Another guy's like, "Fuck, you took my finger off," and walks down the hall like red in the face, angry. They do post. So I think ironically, given one's from Karnath and one's from Kornberg, Ludvig, you're in a less secure location, and Lois has got like 2 defenders and like a proper cage and vicious little gnome. So fast forward, as they're bringing down Ludvig and Lois, Ludvig is like, he's brought down, like you're actually walked down, Ludvig. You're manacled, but you're actually like walked down and like shown a seat, and the politeness that you've shown seems to have paid forward, and they treat you with courtesy. And then you see Lois come in, and she is manacled to a wood chair, like gagged hard, fingers kind of like I guess kind of like wrapped up with like whatever, like rope or tape or whatever, and is basically treated like a wild animal. It's not treated like a wild animal, but is brought in like fucking Hannibal Lecter, and sat down at one of the seats beside. Basically has Ludwig on one side, and Lois on the other. Looks over at Lois. He goes, "What the fuck happened?" And he goes, "Very slippery, warlord." And he goes, "They bit Tom's finger." You don't give a fuck about Tom's finger. And he says, my sincerest apologies. As you diplomatic team comes in and says, I didn't know that a viceroy of the House of Diplomacy could be so much trouble for Dennett defenders. And the defenders kind of look down.
Every minute that passes in this mess of a situation makes me realize you're really bad at this. Just terrible.
Well, I'm bad at this.
You can't even. It's one gnome.
Well, I'll have to be rethinking about who I keep on my defensive staff then. Perhaps I'll have to recruit from the military once more. Unfortunate. As he looks at the defenders.
May I speak?
Yeah, you're not gagged or anything.
Lord Mordak. Perhaps this is a lesson. This is a lesson about gnomes and other such small things. It is always a mistake to underestimate them.
Oh, so I've learned. It seems in the last war, House Neath, at least the ones here in Conrath, were there to experience what quite a bit capable of. Slippery would be the right word. Anyway, let's get down to business, why don't we?
You just see like Ludwig trying to take in a lot of deep breaths, trying to like just stay focused here.
So, you have come in force. You have come with something for me, perhaps. I'm interested to see where this conversation goes.
A question, if I may.
Of course, Viceroy.
Something that's just been puzzling me the whole time is that you were so certain that it was Holden that stole your things, and turns out you were right, he had. But what puzzles me so much is you knew what he'd stolen, which means you know what we have, what we know. So why, I gestured to Ludwig and Lois, why all of this?
All in due time, Viceroy. It is a fair question I have every intention of answering. But let's let the story play out. I will reveal that's when it is time. So, I promise I will reveal that information soon. I like where this is going, though. It's true, I know it was in those safes. In fact, I'll tell you what, as an opening courtesy for negotiations, this has been a stressful night for everybody, I will remove my defensive security from the room. They will remain outside, and you may do the same, as a show of mutual good faith that no one intends to bully the other. Or they can remain. Your decision. I leave it on your hands.
I'm happy for the Neath to step out, but Shell remains with me, and I incline my head to Shell.
Very well. Then I shall, if it's in fairness then, I'll have my Karnathi commander stay in the room and remove the Neaths. As they very well explained to me, they all neutralize each other, becoming quite fucking useless at this point.
I see no issue with this.
Right? He'll nod. The Dennett defenders will leave. Soren and... Sorry, Rowan, I'm I guess I'm being lazy on your defender's name because this is so many.
Lena.
Lena. They look at you, Soren and Lena. Soren actually looks to you first, Ludwig, for your approval.
I give him a nod. Go.
He looks at you two, Cross and Roan. He and Lena will leave. I'm realizing in this moment I have largely forgotten Kira's existence, Lois's defender.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what she would come in.
Yeah.
Did she go to the Lord Sentinel?
Well, the offer was made to go to the Lord Sentinel. I'm not sure. So, okay, I want to figure that out because that might be key and that might influence how things work with Lois. So she would have came in for Rowan and Lois, your meeting, naturally, as yours did, Rowan. And then you submitted to Lois being to staying. I guess at that point, it's a question of I'll just say that, like, Kira was, like, kicked out by the Karnathi warriors inside. Like, she was going to stay. She was kicked out. And that's how we neutralized her from
the
narrative. And she's basically just been, like, hound dog standing at the doors and would have came in with you.
No. She was there after Rowan left because when I requested to get excused to use the facilities, I told her about the blackmail on Denise, and she was spreading it to the other members of the Denise Guard here.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So we'll say that she's sort of like a plant right now. She's sort of planted on the Baron's guard, or excuse me, the Warlord's guard. Noticeably Lois's defender, but nonetheless there in sort of good taste. And I think she'll be kind of red in the face at Lois's treatment being here, but doesn't ruin negotiations. Lois is there. Would you give her the nod to leave as well?
Nope.
Okay. She will say so, and she'll say, I have no intentions of leaving. I'm under contract with Viceroy Loisana de Leora. I'm not under contract to any of the rest of you. And the warlord says, very well, come stand beside your person, and I will have someone from the Karnathi Guard stand beside him. And such will be arranged. So, standing in the room will be, Shell, will be Kira, and two Karnathi guards. One to kind of counter Kira, and one to counter Bastion. Or Shell. I'm having a transitioning that one. Yeah. So, Lord says, now that we've gotten that all sorted out, we can all make nice in that sense. What shall we do next? You've come, so let me allow you to open up. Let's see if we can resolve this. So, have you brought me Holden Viceroy Lockjaw?
Of course not. Not that we could even find him. He's long gone, I suspect.
Seems he's screwed you over as much as he's screwed me over, perhaps.
Not especially. I don't begrudge his actions. Hell, I almost applaud them. I do question your judgment. I mean, you can be angry at Holden for all you want, but let's be real here. You invited a bunch of foreign agents, not just us. I imagine your guest list was full of them. house if Yarlin were here as well. Why the hell did you still keep the intel in the house?
Again, not in time. And let's not strike at each other's characters. I don't think it's very tasteful. I mean, I could sit here and point fingers at you and say, well, why do you have such a thief on your Viceroy Council, or whatever, but I don't think we're all here to trade verbal blows, are we?
Yeah, thieves are useful. Fine. I mean, my terms are quite...
I'm certain there are ways we can all get what we want here.
I like Ludvig most. He's very polite, even in dangerous situations. I like a little more push from my prisoners, but I can't help but be impressed by the good Viceroy.
Oh, nothing to say on that matter. I mean, our demands are pretty straightforward. Release Lois and Ludvig.
Right. All right, your demands. All right. So, what kind of weapon are you pointing at?
I mean, where do I start? Just start with the worst or the least damaging? What would you prefer?
Oh, show me the big guns.
Sorry, say that again. I didn't catch that.
Says, show me the big guns.
The audio crystal. I mean, sure, it's scandalous and dramatic for King Caius III to have a Vol sympathizer in, his personal council, but something almost insidious that a trusted warlord in the Carnathi army would keep that information locked up in a safe. And I would imagine King Caius would be less than pleased to have such a shameless traitor in his midst, but perhaps he doesn't need to know about that.
You would turn it against?
You of all people should know what blackmail looks like.
We'll keep going. Don't stop there. It's a fine one, I would say. But what makes me believe that you have this information? Was it not Holden who stole this information? Go on. And he'll, and your defender will remove the gag.
I will quote from his personal journal, translated from Giant, because I read it.
Fair enough.
And I will pick the most largest thumbtack. Some personal fear, phobia, nightmare that wakes him up in the middle of the night. Whatever it is that he wrote in there.
Make me I'll say make a deception or intimidation check. It's your choice. I'll give you advantage because this is kind of like a hurt with words thing. So I feel like one of those two would be the acceptable.
21.
21. He his face. Yeah, you say something. You get about halfway through what you were going to say, and it's something about this woman that he almost married for love, but was killed in the last war, and you start going into that. And his face drops, and this doesn't seem fun for him anymore. And he grits his teeth, and will say, "Gag her," and the Carnathi will come around and gag you again.
I am absolutely going to throw the head, make him work for it.
You make him work for it, And as he's like struggling to get it on, the warlord sort of like in a moment of anger does say dagger, and he kind of like the defender kind of does, despite the years of whatever, does take that with straight with some fear, intimidation, and then does with a little bit more force to make it happen, gag you pretty intensely, as you definitely hit a nerve with the warlord. He'll say, "Now that was not polite. Fine, you clearly are seeking information in my personal safe. Not much is proven. Anything else?"
I mean, you know the contents of it, so I feel, as you say, it would be impolite to rattle off the 4 dozen letters or so of people who, man, if they found out that the secrets were spilled and they knew who was holding on to them, why? Look, I mean, I wouldn't even have to try and kill you. There'd be enough lining up to do it for me.
Got anything else for me?
Is like yeah, my hands are freed, right?
You're manacled, but you're free to like stand. Like you're manacled, but like not to the chair.
Can I scratch my ear?
Sure, you scratch your ear.
Like, and kind of pull the earring of sending, or whatever it's called, messaging.
Sure.
Yeah.
As a note, messaging requires a whisper to activate, and you're sitting next to me.
Like, we're gonna see it.
Never mind. I thought it was mental. Okay, then. Never mind.
It is mental to the person receiving it, but in order to send it along, you need to whisper the message. So it does travel like 120 feet that way by a whisper, but it is still a whisper.
So it feels.
I'll tell you what. Make me a stealth check.
Okay.
So I can get this whisper up.
Okay. 23.
Okay. What do you send, and what do you send to?
Him. There have a think he could gain from.
Is he breaking up for you guys too?
Yes.
Okay, try that again. You broke up that sentence.
That's the stick. Carrots. Do you have anything he can gain from? Because this is his first chance of talking to anybody.
Yeah. I wanted to give you because you've been put in a shitty situation.
Cross does not reply and does not even let on that he heard anything. Just look to the warlord and say, well, let's not reveal my entire arsenal. What are you willing to give up to ensure that the information we do have doesn't make it to the public sphere? Our demands.
The way I see it, I would be willing to give you one of my 2 hostages for your demand as respect for what you're using. But it doesn't do well for me to remove the other flag, as it seems to me we're at a bit of a standoff. You have information, blackmail, and so on me, which I respect, as I am clearly fond of using that tool myself. But it seems to me that if I give you both of them, I have no cards to play anymore. So why would I voluntarily give you everything I have and let you continue to point your weapon at me? Take all of my ammunition.
Cross will lean forward. Can I let you in on a secret? Well, not even a secret. I may bear the mark of diplomacy. I may be an ambassador for a fallen nation, but deep down, Mordak, I'm a machine of war. I'm built for bloodshed. So, the suggestion of mutual destruction is, well, speak to something deep in my mechanical soul, shall we say. But listen, you can't hold them indefinitely. Lois appears to be far more trouble than she's worth, and she knows all your secrets. And I think she has your diary memorized. I'm sure you would have so little fun dealing with her, whispering your secrets to all who know you.
You're right.
As for Ludvig, well, he's part of the Adraga family. And, well, I would almost feel a certain degree of responsibility to inform them exactly who it is that has their son and heir in his clutches. So I'd almost say you're incentivized to let them both go.
I think I'm incentivized certainly to let Ludwig go, and I'd be willing to because he's so light. And you're right. Does he really belong to the Drager family? Doesn't the court edicts forbid a Dragonmark member belonging to both a Dragonmark house and to a royal house? So I don't even know if he's technically related to them legally any longer. But I would let him go because I like the Dragons. They've done good. His father especially. Good warlord. I fought alongside him. Now, Lois has pissed me off. And this is martial law. So, to your point, why don't I just take her into one of the Karnathi dungeons and start picking her fingernails out? Because she's pissed me off.
Well, like you said, it's martial law. And I repeat myself, when the king were to discover your... it's almost treason, isn't it? And I'm no expert on the Code of Caius, but if I had to hazard a guess, treason sounds like almost a death sentence, surely.
So what are we supposed to do here? Because the way I see things playing out is I give you Ludwig, I keep Lois for my own satisfaction to protect myself with, and if you decide to, release the crystal, you lose one of the very few Dragonmark people belonging to your house.
And you lose
because I'll just execute her before I go up on the block. So yes, mutually assured destruction. You get me for treason, which I might be able to weasel out of, maybe. But Lois is coming out alive if you do that.
Fine, if mutual death seems to be what you desire, then let me suggest something else. Despite my criticisms of your way of handling this, I said it before, I'm a machine made for war, and on that note, I think that you and I share some common ground. So, I don't see why we can't turn this situation into something positive. It need not be entirely threats of destruction.
Now we're getting somewhere.
The 48 or so letters. I mean, that's quite the tangled web of blackmail that you hold.
But it isn't blackmail against me.
Well, yes, that is something I can hold against you. I can't discount the value of the connections you hold. Those could be 48 people I hold against you, or 48 people that, through you, House Leora can influence.
Mm-hmm. You're starting to come around, finally, to my own thing. I don't know if I'm content. I mean, I've been insulted and thieved from my own home. To walk away from this blackmail alone, perhaps you might send me some symbol of friendship. If you can't get me holding, give me something.
I do have something in mind, but I need your word on this.
Fine.
Ludvig, Lois, and some form of business arrangement, shall we say. And I'll give you something that can help you preserve your morbid reputation, shall we say. Someone to pick the nails off.
I'm listening.
I look back to Rowan. Go to Adrian.
Wish to do so? Okay, so you inform him. A minute or two later, Adrian comes in with the creature bound up, looking around nervously, and the Crimson Butcher says, "Who's this?"
This is the creature, a Thorani agent, the one who is skulking around your home, altering guest lists, impersonating foreign dignitaries, overall being, let's say, a mutual nuisance.
Make me at this point, a persuasion check at advantage.
Yes.
Can he get guidance from himself?
No.
Don't need it. Look, that was really good though because I dodged in that one, so 25.
Ooh,
25.
thank God.
Crimson Butcher smiles. Says, "Impressive. You are quickly House Leora." I'll tell you what. The contents of my safe in my room, I'm sure you divided it all out, recall what is what. I want those returned. And as it sounds, Loisana here has memorized everything, so from a blackmail perspective, you have what you want already. But I want the physical items returned to me. They have sentimental value. I take this creature. You get Lois and Ludwig, and I applaud you. And allow you to keep all of the rest of the blackmail as payment for pain and suffering this evening. You asked me why I kept all my premises all of this deeply personal information? Well, there's two reasons. One, I've been quite bored and wanted to see what would happen. Two, well, I want to see what all of you would do specifically with it. I didn't know if you'd steal from me. I'd hoped. I'm a little disappointed that you stole my personal effects. Didn't think that, well, I should have known better in that point. But you may keep the blackmail and use it as you wish. I will consider it a loss that I never had, and that is my payment and gift to House Leora in thanks. And, moreover, I would like to hire your house. I mean, not to pat myself on the back, but I'm a pretty substantial client. The warlord of Karnath requiring diplomatic services. The king, who I'm quite loyal to, has been trying to secure peace between the nations, which requires, well, lots of diplomatic services. Once you have a guild running, I'd like to be your first client. By way, of course, of the Karnathian government.
There's like a pretty long pause from Cross. The personal effects can be returned, which, as far as I'm aware, are the diary and the photo, the picture, yes?
Diary, picture, flower, everything from the vault, and I mean everything. I don't give a shit if you copy the journal. I get that you want to have something over on the embarrassment is all it would serve, but still.
I'm fine to return the personal effects, but as you say, we'll keep the letters, audio, crystal, and the list.
Everything from the safe containing the blackmail would be yours in happy payment. And I will assure you that I will make no such moves to try and reacquire it in the future other than by mutually consensual means, if such a time came.
That's entirely reasonable. I'll happily hand the creature over to you in exchange for this, as well as Loisana and Ludvig. As far as hiring us goes, well, perhaps
I'll add one more thing to the pot. I will not inform the Baron Fjarlin of the fiasco that was this evening, as they assured me nothing would be stolen or otherwise taken by House Leora. I will inform them that it was indeed this creature.
If I might say,
Rowan and Cross probably both bust up laughing when he says
yeah.
If I might say, well,
he looks kind of like confused at the laughter, to be sure.
As a strange matter of fact, my good warlord, the creature does bear a striking resemblance to Holden Lackyard when I look at him.
He certainly has the shape-shifting abilities.
What is so fun?
A fair question. It is truly ridiculous.
Be careful. I have been insulted once this night by your Lois.
I'm not calling you ridiculous. I am calling House Fjarlin ridiculous. Please allow me to finish. I mean you disrespect. It is ridiculous that Fjarlin would have said such a thing.
That is
knowing Holden Lackyard.
Quite
the reason we are laughing is because we know Holden Lackyard, and we would have never made such a promise. And we actually put in some safeguards to try to prevent this. For whatever it is worth, I apologize that the Fjarlin said that to you. That is why we are laughing, not at you.
Then it seems I will... Yeah, let's beat it. I'll just fire in, I guess. Oh my god, it's not.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was. Like,
Yeah.
Trying to get it to stop.
I thought Ryan was rolling behind the screen. I was like,
Yeah,
God damn it.
Yeah, I was
it just
just
seems
like-
like
I was
Lois
gonna
is
actually-
rolling infinitely.
Yeah.
It was cat on keyboard.
Oh, that makes sense.
And that will do
Oh, sweet.
it. The warlord says, "Then it seems that I have been a fool to do business with House Fjarl in the first place, and will be not doing so again."
I offer my fucked up, half melted hand. We can discuss, working for you at another day, but shall we at least shake on these terms?
Terms work well for me. I'm curious, though. I'm putting a lot in your hands. A lot of faith in your hands. On my part. I'm giving you both of your viceroys back. I'm giving you potential future business. The government of Karnath. I'm giving you a lot. Now, you'll look over at whoever, like your defender goes to remove it, and he shoots her a dirty glance. He's like, "No, I know about the auction. I suppose I would suck for all of you. Nothing else.
Would.
I don't want diplomatic enemies. So how am I to feel safe? Giving you everything and putting faith in Lior that I'm getting all back."
I suppose there's I don't think there's anything necessarily material that would provide much comfort. So call it a mutual respect for those who play the game. One, we do good work if you know what the outcome of the auction was.
Perhaps
Perhaps
I have the crystal return. I mean, that is the most deathly incriminating thing you have on me. If that was to be returned, then neither of us have worried mutual destruction or singular destruction, do we?
That is. I can understand the desire to take back that which is most damaging to you personally, although I'm surprised you don't ask for the list from Red Gorge. That's a national scandal waiting to happen.
It is. And I say keep it as a show of my earnestness to do future business.
Well, good warlord.
Because we will have something mutual, won't we? At that point, you know that I have had that information on hand, and I'll know that you have that information on hand. It's not necessarily mutual destruction, but mutual make things a pain in the ass complicated for one another. Just the right amount of mutual dirt. But I leave that to you to use against or for Karnath as you please, as a showing of good faith.
That's acceptable.
Very well. Then I will, I think, retain. I will retain Viceroy Ludwig, perhaps, as he is the most polite and agreeable individual of the two that I have with me, and I would be more than happy to take a gnome out of the house. And you may have Ludwig back as soon as I have my personal effects and the crystal returned to me. I don't imagine it should take too long.
It'll take a few days. They're currently in transit, but we can have them pulled back.
And perhaps by the time I wake up from a much-deserved and needed sleep, it will be in my hand. Ludwig will be an honored guest of the house. And when both of us arise awake, that package might perhaps be back in my hands. And we all may leave as mutually stung but advantaged allies, I'd say. You walk out with substantial blackmail to use as you will. I walk out with contracts with House Leroy, who has proven themselves quite capable in a realm that I despise, diplomacy.
Very well.
My one... No, it's fine. It's fine. So, let them have her, but do not take the gag off until she is outside my gates. They lift the chair and begin to livery Lois out onto the front yard. And, yeah.
Before leaving, Rowan will say, for whatever it's worth, I wanted to spare you that. That's why I offered me instead of her. I'm a little better behaved under these kind of circumstances. My apologies for whatever havoc she caused.
Just get me my...
As they carry the chair out, I'm assuming she's like kind of manacled hands behind the chair. She will
on the arms.
Oh, on the arms. Oh,
yeah, you can still motion fairly well. Yeah,
he's gonna get a full-on Constantine goodbye.
He says, "Perhaps in our future contracts, I need not deal with that particular viceroy."
I'll deal with you anytime.
You or Ludwig are most acceptable to deal with. Now we need to have a very long chat with our creature here. Have a good evening, or morning, as it seems. And you do indeed see the sky turning a little bit blue around the horizon.
As it's all ending, I just say to them, "I trust you. I'll be here waiting."
Just sit tight and I don't know, keep him happy.
We might have a bit to chat about. Who knows?
That both parties may depart. Ludwig, you are no longer kept in the basement or in any old rooms. He will, in fact, unmanacle you. And he will say, and he will bring you to actually like quite fine quarters. And he will say, "I'm sure you're figuring out the specifics of, the court edicts and how you relate to your own family, but nonetheless, you've been polite, so allow me to treat you as such. Enjoy the room and hospitality of my house while you're here."
I'm honored. Good warlord and more of that.
And he will sort of nod, and you can see that, like, Lois's little stint about, like, it was probably, like, for all of you, it was definitely like a skin crawl thing, what he would have revealed, which is, like, probably some deeply personal, like, this thing tore my soul up and is probably why I've become the brutalist that I am information and stuff that no one would want out with any mixed company. So he walks away with a stiffness of that.
I imagine, I consider it a minor miracle that the gods might be kind that he didn't choose to rip her head off at that moment. And privately, I do this all privately in my head. And
that's fair.
And I make a mental note of forgetting that whole part of the conversation and never mentioning that to him at all.
Absolutely. You are shown into a room of finery. There is
nice sweater, by the way.
Nice what? Sorry.
Sweater.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a nicer room. You're uncuffed. You're doing good.
Okay. He's the one oh god, oh my. He's the one that's oh my god. He just lets it all out, oh my god. He just tries to meditate more, talk to him, and just bring it in, and then he's just going to sleep for the whole day.
Yeah, you gotta just lay down for a nice long rest. Baron will do so also. You guys will leave more successful than you came. With a pretty exceptional store of blackmail as apparent payment for this evening. And it is an exceptional, and I intend to give you a little... I'll tend to write out
of information.
Everything. I don't think I'll write out everything. I'm not going to make you guys look for 3 dozen documents.
No. Just summaries.
I'll give you the bullet points of the blackmail. Those three named ones certainly being the most exceptional of the bunch, but I will give those to you in due time.
Damn it.
When we get into the carriage, Cross is kind of looks at Rowan. Gave up more than I would have cared for, but for the sake of getting them back, price worth paying, I suppose.
I would still like to impale him and send his head as a gift to the Baron of House Tarkanan, but that might have to wait for a little while.
I look to Lois then.
Who's probably kicking the Deneth Defender in the shins. or the Karnathi Warrior.
The Karnathi,
hold on, no. I thought we were in the carriage.
We're in the carriage.
Yes, you're in the... I'm sorry. It was a fun flavor note. Yeah, she's
I would not have said what I just said if I was... Okay, all right. I just want to be clear,
I
right?
apologize.
Because that's...
Sorry, that's very fair. Yeah, I was just throwing in a funny flavor note.
We
love that.
Gab, rewind 6 seconds.
You're good. Lois hops into the carriage. You having just seen her probably kick this Karnathi commander in the shins.
Put my hat and stuff back on.
Yeah, you guys are in there. Soren is going to stay on premises, but your Deneth defenders will walk alongside carriage. Adrian's in the carriage as well.
Actually, I looked at Rowan still. How familiar are you with audio crystals?
How familiar is Rowan with audio crystals?
Making a Arcana check. This will be a lower DC for an artificer. Because I believe that's one of your basic
That's one of the things that I can make.
Oh, so forget it. No check required. Yeah, so you're aware of your own feature, and clearly that feature can be modified to be more of a long-term thing.
All right.
Requires a little magic item creation, minor stuff, but it can.
All right.
I have every intention of honoring our side of the agreement and returning his personal effects and the crystal containing the confession. But there's no stipulation that they're not allowed to make copies.
He, in fact, said go ahead and make copies if you want, so that's true.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I mean, if he invited us to do so, I feel like we should accept his invitation.
You misunderstand. Once we have that, after a period of time, I intend to write several small pamphleted books and send them free of charge to the royal court of Karnath with a magic mouth that when it opens, it will play exactly what's on that crystal.
So let's agree we don't do that without a discussion amongst us, right? Let's agree we're not going to go there yet, right? Let's get our people back.
You wanted to set on a pike? That's the easiest way to make that happen.
I know, but let's get home first.
Oh, absolutely. It'll take me time to get enough of them made anyway.
And let's see what work he has for us. As much as I hate it, this whole
Work for
thing
any
was
of y'all, but clearly not for me. Because
Yeah.
clearly I'm a pain in the ass.
no, and I love that. But if he's trying to create some sort of peace in Karnath, A, it's lucrative for us. B, it deserves our at least listening to it, even if he has a dick. But seriously, nice work. You got under his skin.
I was really hoping I was going to get punched.
That was, I mean, I was going to tell you to recite something else, but I must confess, I'm not quite as tuned in to what makes someone squirm.
No, that was magnificent.
I just
Rooted-
picked something
rooted in
that
blood, you know.
I'll tell you, some of the defenders he's got are not too terrible bad.
I would like
But
to
I don't
give...
recommend falling out of a third-story window.
No, let's not do that.
That leaves a bruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine when Lois was brought down, the Baron says, I just want to make very clear, I did not throw her out a window, nor beat the shit out of her. She made an escape attempt and bludgeoned herself.
Why are the shards of glass?
And the entire time he's saying that, Roman's just going to be nodding. Mhm.
He's like, yeah, fair.
If we have to call things back, I wouldn't mind giving the Deneth piece to the Sentinel Marshal.
Oh, I think that's mandatory.
All right, good. I'm glad we agree.
For any number of reasons.
I agree.
But whatever hold he had needs to be brought to an end.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
just because Ludwig has been remarkably patient with us,
Yes.
I want to accelerate things a little bit.
Yes.
So, you guys, I assume, will head back to the King's Grace, get some sleep, maybe send an agent off to the Orion station, be like, bring it back.
Update my dad, please. Like, okay, we got a deal. He'll be out soon.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe update Daddio. Ludwig is safe. 3 words, 6 silver. Someone wants to mark that off, make life easy. And you are all willing to hand off personal effects and audio tape?
Mhm.
Yep.
Cool.
I would almost make a point of myself personally handing them over to the Warlord if I could. I know that's not possible. But
You will not be able to because you are
You're right.
there and we are here.
I know.
Yeah,
So-
you're a prisoner.
Cross
I
will
know.
do it.
Yeah.
Understood.
Would like to ensure that Rowan does make a copy of the crystal.
Actually, Lois has it in her brain, so Lois can do it too.
Well, the
But yeah.
crystal's audio, so you can't really make a copy off of a memory. At least not an audio one.
I see what you see.
Like, she can encode thoughts and someone can slip it into their own brain, but it requires
Could-
Lois to be...
Could
I see
they
what you're
capture
saying.
But
could
you
capture
could
what the
guess
voice
Rowan...
sounded like.
How long
I-
is it going
what
to
is
take me to replicate it?
What is your feature state specifically?
Well, no, it's because I am an artificer and I have, I am proficient in Arcana. I figured I can make this is the kind of thing that she can
understand.
make. This is what I
But
was
you
thinking.
have a specific feature that lets you make
Things like this. Yeah,
something.
it's magical. It's like a
tinker or
magical
whatever it
tinkering.
is.
Yeah, hold on. I'm coming to it. Yeah, it's a thing that can make a static.
Useful item, is it?
Yeah, something like that. I'm looking for it.
Oh, magical. Yeah, magical thing. Okay.
Uh,
Whenever tap a creature, the object emits a recorded message that can be heard 10 feet away. You enter the message when you bestow this property on the object, recording is no more than 6 seconds long. The chosen property lasts indefinitely. Okay, so you just create one with magical tinkering. You basically pick any object and Jimmy Neutron it into a recording device. And so it can be in whatever form you like, Rowan, as long as you can pick it. I don't know, it's a thing that exists.
Yeah.
It could be a brush, I don't know, whatever you want.
And as per her usual, she pulls her tinker's tools out of her hair.
Sure, you pull your
Which is where
tinker's
she
tools out
can
of your
see them.
hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
What would you like the Leora recording
how was the
device
movie?
to be?
Eric, your mic's on.
I got it. Do you have a preference what the recording device would be, Ron?
You know, something that's going to look like a little miniature sphinx. That is like a
So you want to
projection.
purchase do you want to purchase a projection for an audio?
Yeah.
How do you
I see what
project
you're saying.
audio?
Oh, no, never mind. My bad. It's like a little mechanical sphinx who speaks it out. Like
So do you want to create or purchase such a thing?
Is that something that I can create with them?
The item is you touch a tiny non-magical object and it turns into a recording device.
I got all right. So fine. You know what? I think she would just take a simple coin. Yeah.
Sure. You take out don't mix it with the others. That's your lucky coin. Or your whatever that coin is.
Yeah, make a scratch
take out
on it or something, like you don't forget it.
Yeah, take out a coin, maybe mark it so that you do know which one it is, and turn it into a recording device and transfer the message over. Simple enough, can be done in a matter of seconds.
And then once that's done for the time being, I'm going to put it on spot. That way we know, because he only carries one coin. And then I'll change the form when we've got a little more time. And
got it.
So done.
So Cross, you hand over the personal effects from his room safe. You hand over the crystal recording. Fantastic. At which point, as he makes sure everything's there, he'll nod. He says, "Well, it seems that we're made even in neutral then." As Ludvig is being unmanacled and handed over. He says, "Whenever you get your first guild set up for diplomacy, I'll be waiting. Or more importantly, the king, his government will be waiting, and I'll get you in touch then."
Very well.
It's been an honor being your guest, Lord Morvac.
He will clap you on the back, and he'll say, "Sorry about the bath, but, well, I figured the warrior of Karnath has dealt with far worse in their time."
I look forward to working with you in the future. And I give him a bow.
You don't have to say it if you don't mean it, boy.
Feels like... Have a good day, Warlord.
Have a good day, Ludwig. And which he will close his doors. And you will have all successfully
invaded that foobar.
You guys technically came out on top from this.
Yes, like he collapses in the cage. Oh my god! Explain to me. Over break. Can the characters please explain to me? Wait, what the fuck happened? We will also assume
that's as I'm sure Cross. It sounds like you're going to hand off. You can explain the events of the night to Ludvig, and Ludvig equipped.
Yeah.
The creature was the winner of the auction. Oh my!
was.
At which point we will break. I need to very quickly figure out exactly what rumors will float around.
Oh my God, the rumors.
The rumor mill is going to be. I was like, I'm gonna have to make up this rumor mill on the spot. There was a chance that the Baron was going to come out happy and would have blocked some rumors on your guys' behalf, but I don't know. He was made to feel quite small in his own home. In a couple instances.
I can.
So
We'll figure the rumors out later. I know someone who could help with that. Maybe.
yeah, hey, some of you have tokens you can use to block the expensive relationships if you wanted. But we will deal with that when we get back from break.
Okay.
So let's take a 15-minute break. See you soon.
Okay, got it. Wow, we got out of that. I'll admit, I'm a bit amazed we were able to walk out of that.
I'm not.
Nath, well done.
Thanks. I
This is
sort of like a bit concerned when I was like, oh shit. I thought he'd respond like better to threats, but okay, fine. I have to give him something, I guess.
yeah, you have to actually give him something. Like that's diplomacy, it's carrots and sticks, you know? Like it drove like I've never felt more nervous like in the last session and a half, I think, in D&D. You know?
Well, there wasn't a. There are two reasons why Lois was a complete asshole. One was the RP layer where you're talking to somebody who has recently just died. I mean, dead. How much more are you going to scare her? Fuck you. And two, the above table is with Ludwig being with Derek being concerned. If I make Lois an asshole, any asshole behavior is going to fall on her, and that rolls off my player much more easily.
Yeah.
It was a twofer.
Yeah, like I honestly think coming out of this, the butcher kind of came out of this liking Ludwig a little bit. By
Oh,
the way,
if any of us are getting the Carnathy contract, it's going to be you.
yeah, probably.
And that's perfectly fine.
I got. And by the way, Eric, how's how? I know your kids went to a movie. How was it?
It was good.
Oh,
You
really?
enjoyed it.
That's nice to hear. I
Yeah,
haven't heard I haven't heard great things about the Minecraft one.
you really enjoyed it.
Okay. I'm Minecraft kind of missed me when I was growing up, you know? I just
Yeah, me too. But because I'm old as fuck, but
yeah.
I played it.
Yeah, but I just never really intrigued me, I guess.
I like building shit, which is why I refer to Tailspire as, you know, Minecraft light.
Hmm. Yeah.
I've got the Parthenon, well, the not just the Parthenon, but the Acropolis build that I did for Ryan. I'm currently right now working on a waterfront district.
Oh,
Um,
oh, you built them.
yeah, because I had some time on my hands and I wanted to learn the tool anyway.
Yeah.
And Ryan really wanted a semi to scale Acropolis.
Wow.
So I went out and built a semi to scale Acropolis.
Well done.
Uh, um, I shaved some of the height off the hill because I didn't know with the tool how much vertical height it would let you take up. But it is it is as close to accurate as I could get from some of there are some folks who have done uh kind of like museum grade archaeology 3D rebuilds. Uh, I took those. I took some of the British Museum uh, uh, architectural diagrams that they had put together based on what they had uncovered and what have you. and used that as the building template. So it came out pretty reasonably accurate. You have some tile limitations because you're dealing with the default geometry is squares. So you know certain curves are a problem. Straight lines on an angle are sort of a problem, because you've only got so many degrees of rotation that it'll let you use. But I think by and large it came out pretty well.
I believe you because the ones he's always set up have been the ones I've saw in Greece are pretty good. I imagine
Oh yeah.
I imagine it's gotta be good. I'll be right back.
We'll get started until Toby gets back.
Feeling good, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm a little overwhelmed by what rumors are.
Oh my God, the
All
rumors!
rumors.
I don't even know if I want to see what the hell the rumors look like. What kind of rumors would come out of that?
I'm sorry for constantly spiking your plan there, Ryan.
No, you're good. That's what you gotta
But
do,
what I was-
and I'm sorry for constantly capturing.
that's fine. What I was telling Derek is there was a in character and an above table reason for me to do that. One is Lois has just died. What the hell are you gonna do? Kill me again?
Yeah,
Fuck
fair.
you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the above table, since I could tell Derek was kind of antsy and uncomfortable.
Yeah,
My thought was if you had an obvious asshole and an obvious not asshole, any of the crap that you wanted to throw could land on Lois, and I'll roll with it.
Oh, that's good of you. That's good of you.
Like instantly Ludvig could be like, ah! I can't believe you did that. You did all that.
Okay, well, let's get to it.
Yeah. Lay it on us. Let's see what the room.
Let's see.
And I imagine the Thorani guy's finished. The
Maybe.
creature.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you did just kind of out Fjarlin at the Warlord. Maybe he's looking to make a good gesture with Thorani now. Who knows?
Do we tell Fjarlin about that, or do they just?
It's kind of their own fault.
Who would hire us? You know.
Hopefully, a lot of people if you want to play this game with.
I know exactly. That's the point. That's diplomacy. Having incredible, important conversations, and I can't be a part of them. It just drove me nuts watching that.
I know. I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh God, thank God I'm out of there. Crimson Butcher's gonna be haunting me in my dreams for a while, y'all.
Okay.
I think Fallon will have 1 million gold pieces by the end of this. They'll be happy. Probably. Who knows?
Okay. Let's get to it. So now we come to the rumor phase.
Oh boy.
Okay. So, current rumors, they're going to be pretty much exactly what you expect. The rumor mill is not going to be completely... Not a ton was left to the imagination. So, I will remind you guys how the rumor phase works really quickly. you can burn a token of favor to cancel a rumor or scandalization, so long as it's not based on you, right? Because if someone's like, Ludwig's a sissy, and then Ludwig's like, nuh-uh, people are gonna be like, okay, so, you know what I mean? So you can burn tokens to help out other people. You can also start your own rumors and start your own scandals based on existing rumors, as a reminder. So let's get to it. It's not going to be that many. First one is rumor is Crimson Baron's party. It seems the night of the masquerade at the Mordock estate didn't go well. Ronir Mordock's reputation seems to hold up as the Crimson Butcher, not very skilled in a setting of elegance, but as brutal and unpredictable as ever. He set all of his guests on a manhunt after the thief at the end of the night, but by the time the sun rose, he seemed content to make allies with the associates of the thieves, as if nothing had happened. That seems to be the rumor running around as you all wake up that next morning. You will... I don't know why I didn't name people. That would be very easy. So the thief will be mentioned, Viceroy Holden of House Leora, but the Butcher seems to have made friends with, or seems to be content with House Leora. Would anybody like to cancel that or scandalize that or leave it be?
So the rumor is just some shit went down. The accused them being thieves, but everything turned out okay. I guess he withdrew the arrest, I guess, and everything seems cool now, I guess?
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what any one of the guests would have just like been able to have seen. Like any one of the guests, what they would have seen, which is Viceroy Holden de Leora stole a bunch of shit. The Baron sent the entire guest list on a manhunt after him and held Viceroy Ludwig, but by the time the sun rised, Ludwig was released, and the Crimson Butcher seems no longer interested in the manhunt. So basically, what you see is what you get, kind of thing.
And they might shrug it off. I guess it was a misunderstanding, maybe.
That's all the rumor is. It's not like that anyone's putting anything on it. Like,
exactly.
It's the rumor, and people can make what they want out of it, right?
Make sure it stays that way.
To release Viceroy. His only suspect. And make allies with the associates of the thief. So that is what you see is what you get. That's the rumor.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And that's that, because that's that.
Like, that's all the public saw.
That's all the public saw, and that's pretty fucking intriguing. I mean, there's nothing else really anyone wants to talk about, so that's pretty big. Anyone is welcome to scandalize that rumor. Unfortunately, as it has to do with you, I don't think anyone could burn the rumor, but you certainly could scandalize if you wanted to.
Should we scandalize it later?
If it's still existing, yes. Because it's gotta be fueled, right? You gotta fuel a rumor for it to keep coming. Also the duel that broke a treaty scandal about the Karnathi noble elevating things to a military skirmish is still very much in play. Let's see. The Iron Prince lives on will remain in play. And last, the heir who eats nothing, I think, is going to sort of die. It just doesn't seem to be... It'll remain in play. People are still in... It'll remain in play. As long as that woman's around, you know... So no rumors are gonna die, but that rumor about the Crimson Butcher is going to grab Korth by the throat.
Okay.
Okay, that's the rumor phase. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to give it more, but I can't think of what else to. I mean, everything was kept pretty under the table, pretty on the sly.
Yeah, our time mission, the hardest mission we've ever had, just took place in one night.
I'll tell you what, you guys are going to scandalize it, but someone else in society probably is.
Oh boy.
That's fine.
Or actually, no, I think that'll be a different rumor altogether. I think that makes more sense. There will be a rumor about Holden having vanished. So Viceroy vanished, I think. And that will simply be that since Holden's theft, he has not been seen in the company of House Leora. And that will be it. And that could be scandalized at Holden or at Leora. It's certainly a thing, but anyone of you have the ability to cancel that rumor because that's directed at Holden.
Actually, I think that I will try to scandalize that.
All right.
Because I'm 100% certain that Holden is a pseudonym, and he burns through them fairly judiciously.
That's true.
So having that one kind of front and center, at least as far as Karnath is concerned, takes the heat off of us.
Okay. So what exactly is the scandal? You want to put out there that he uses multiple identities?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that Holden was, just a pseudonym.
Okay. Scandal. It is believed then is a pseudonym and is actually thief of some renown. Is that generally what you want to say it? He's a pseudonym and he's actually a thief of some renown?
Yes.
Okay.
He's the Crimson Fox.
Crimson Fox.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll stick a name on that. Why not?
Sure. Believed to be a hold as a symbol of an actual thief of some renown. Known as the Crimson Fox. Sure. That's what we want to toss on there.
Sounds like a good nickname.
It sounds exactly like the type of nom de guerre that Holden would avoid at every opportunity.
It's true.
Unless it turned out to be something that he could lean on later.
Would you want to? So that's definitely scandalizing. Do you want to point that at the idea that he even got one over on Leora? Like he fucked you guys over? Is that the idea? To take heat off of you, where it's really, yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's a meta reason for that, obviously, but if you don't mind me leaning on that particular tree to clean up the timeline, so to speak.
Fair enough. No, absolutely. He has undoubtedly, we'll say, hoodwinked his own new house as well. All right. And that will certainly take notoriety off of you guys. Very, very good. Okay. that will definitely bring an end to our rumor phase. Well done. Yeah, and with that, Holden has been kind of. I mean, there was never a deal made that Holden would be taken off the chopping block with the Crimson Butcher, so I guess there'll be some wanted posters posted about them, I suppose. So that brings us into the rumor mill. So as Ludwig, you smell sweet freedom. Cross you have secured. Ludwig and all of you meet at the King's Grace. What would you like to do?
So, how's your time that night?
Let's say that you guys are in a private,
Yeah.
private,
Yeah.
enchanted room or whatever, and all of your defenders and all the people who were responsible were there.
Can I ever get to meet Mr. Shadow?
We'll say that if he was invited, he would have. But he's a low key guy, so he wouldn't have invited himself.
Ross wants to speak with Mr. Shadow, so there's certainly maybe not an invitation to this conversation, but there is. Cross wants to talk to him.
Got it. But Ludwig was told of Mr. Shadow, undoubtedly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were told of him, but he will not be at the table. He's a very non-public face, obviously. So he's probably chilling in disguise in the room, next room over or something like that, having a private drink.
I'd say, as a free agent, he might be worth putting on retainer.
Exactly my idea.
I intend to speak with him on that.
And when you speak with him, give him my personal thanks.
I'll pass those on.
Is Adrian there?
Adrian is there, and he's sulking a little in the corner. Bjarlin was thrown under the bus a little bit. He's at the table, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not making a big show of it, but clearly he's Bjarlin took a hit tonight, and that personally affects him.
Cheer up, Adrian. Made $1 million gold just today. Almost in one night.
And more importantly, the contact that you lost is not really that lamentable when you consider how it is that he does what he does.
The diplomatic error was mine. I will take the heat for it, Adrian.
Oh, he just kind of lifts a glass, puts it back, and doesn't say much.
And you made $1 million on their territory and cost them an agent in the process.
Well, you cost them well, I guess I helped them that, but you made the $1 million.
And you were
just
very
hired
much
the right
a part
people.
of securing that, right?
I just hope the Baron sees it that way.
Well, I'll get back.
All the way to the House Kundar Bank.
We gonna be putting a good word for you if it comes to that.
Ludwig, I will take care of it.
Oh, all right.
Thank you, Ludwig.
And Adrian, I will take care of it.
Okay. I'm not got much of a choice anyway. He kind of takes another drink.
What are our thoughts on saying this Carnaf's request for our services?
I think if you ask me, this is a good opportunity for us.
That's I will leave that to the decision of both Ludwig and Cross. I won't have anything to do with the man.
Understandable.
I think that's reasonable.
I mean, from a business perspective, a client is a client, but I can choose who I would like to work with, and he is not on that list,
You will never see him again.
And he,
which I'm certain he will prefer.
yes, that should be the stated intention there.
By the way, like, there is like an air of celebration here. Like your defenders like buy you guys some bottles and like are pouring drinks and they're like, "Here's the freedom of Ludwig, secured from the grasp of the Crimson Butcher." Here, ha ha! And they all have some cheers, and there's definitely an element of victory and celebration in the room, at least from your underlings here and there.
I mean, of course, there is. Like, my rescuers.
Well, they'll just any of the defenders will just point at your fellow Leoras.
And I will buy a round specifically for Kira because that was more stressful than it probably needed to be, but I needed him to be angry and emotional.
Yeah, Kira, she's looking cool, but you can see like the circles under her eyes. You get the sense this was indeed a stressful night for her, especially after her what she considers to be failings with when you lost your life, and now she's like, now you're captured. Like, I suck. So she's like, well, thank you. I'm just glad that you're all right. No, Asana.
So, you've done good. You've nothing to be. You have every reason to be proud. That's what I'd say to her.
She'll nod and she'll get a pat on the back from some of the other defenders. Like, you did good, and she's coming around. You know, the encouragement starts to bring her around to the idea of like tonight was a success. There's no need to lament, and she does.
So, do we have a thought about how we want to turn that particular slice of the pie over?
You're referring to the warlord?
Yeah. No. I'm referring to the information about the traitor in House Beneath. Do we want to turn it over via the Sentinel Marshal if he's still in town? Do we want to turn it over via our own defenders?
Here's a good question. Where? Like, I know it was. I know the town wasn't in Karnath, but what was the town that the traitor Deneth gave up? Like, what country was that?
It's a good question.
Because if it was in Ondir, though, that's more valuable. If it's in Tyre, well, Tyre's gone. Only Deneth is interested in that.
Actually, in any event, I would like to turn it into the Sentinel Marshal if he's still in town.
Well, the question is, do we want to present it, or do we want
them to find it?
We present it to our defenders and let them present it to the Sentinel Marshal?
As a favor from Leora, or do we want to win a very good friend who happened to find this valuable information and make them an ally?
Honestly, I was planning on going to see Harlan in the morning and just handing it to him.
And that's fine. I only thought that it may serve as a additional boon to the defenders that are assigned to House Leora if it was information that they were made aware of we got out fine, and more importantly, we got out with that information intact.
Yeah.
I would want to. What is the motivation behind telling Denise about this traitor? Beyond, let's say, the kindness of our hearts, is this
Well,
for a diplomatic purpose? Is this for leveraging a favor? There needs to be give and take.
well, it would improve relations between Leor and Denise. For one, there would be definitely get a favor potentially out of it. If we gave it over to Sentinel Marshal Holland, like Rowan is suggesting, we could definitely make a very good friend out of him, and a man who can cross boundaries specifically can be very useful to have in the future.
And let's, to be frank, House Denise will work either side of a conflict.
Yeah.
And there are times when, contractually they have an impasse where, they can't butt heads with themselves. And having somebody that they can go to as a diplomatic corps to, come to some other option, may be a business opportunity for us as well.
Yeah, I'm fine with the course of action for the most part. It's just I want to ensure that we're not just information is valuable, and it is the resource we use to make our dealings. So even if it is just a gentleman's agreement of a favor for a favor, as long as it's something.
If anyone wants to make an insight check regarding the potential effects of this information, go ahead.
I would like to do that.
Yeah, same.
I'll give this to you with advantage, Rowan, because you've had a conversation pertaining to this before.
Well, that was a nat 20.
Unnatural
23.
Unnatural 20.
Natural 20, very nice. What'd you get, Cross?
Not one.
Oh, yeah, you're like, are we doing this for justice or kindness? What? Lois?
30-20.
Nice. So you three would know the general politics in House Denith and fears generally are that House Denith is the largest military unified superpower in Corvair as it stands. And they have their fingers in, they're in every nation and they're strong in every nation. If House Denith decided to turn its attacks inward and decide like it's the era of Denith, we rule Corvair, it would be messy. They might even succeed. That's a large worry. There are whispers, and you would know this especially, Rowan, because you talked to your defender about this. There is a large sentiment underneath, especially with the eroding of the Korth edicts, with more and more, barons taking over property, that the Korth edicts maybe aren't so valuable anymore, considering there's no nation who has the power or want to uphold the Korth edicts with any strength. So Denith, there's a philosophy perhaps in House Denith that we should use our power to become the ruling body of Corvair, much like the old royal family. What has largely stopped that is the Honorable Baron, who has ever stuck to the principles of House Denith, and he's well known for his honesty, his humility, his code of honor. He has been the major roadblock between certain ambitious viceroys and high seneschals. So this is all to say that this information is clearly a sign of corruption within House Denith. If you were to hand this information over, it would certainly be in support of the honorability of House Denith, the stability of the Baron, keeping control, getting rid of those people who are willing to bend the rules, such as the Korth Edicts. This would be a movement in House Denith towards honorability, sticking to Denith as it always has been as a military faction, mercenary faction.
So then
If you
handing it to the
don't-
Baron is smarter, if that's what we wanted to do.
The High Seneschals are probably, like, it wouldn't be a bad judgment to send it to the High Seneschals, because they're about law enforcement. It, of course, depends on the High Seneschal. Maybe
Depends on the High Seneschal. And I don't know which.
If you were to give it to the Baron directly, it would be the most surefire
Then I will be giving
way.
it to the Baron directly. Thank you.
The other point I wanted to bring up is if it served House Leora and they wanted to keep the status quo or at least keep things juggled, keeping this to yourselves or holding on to it to such a time as it serves in whatever way, you might support the idea of Denith becoming a more
aggressive, somewhat.
Basically support
bold,
a power-hungry section of people there. So there are two ways you can use this. You can use this for the honor, to turn Denith into a more mercenary, quote-unquote, honorable faction, or to support them rising up. So it's your choice. Not to say that this determines that entirely, but...
Then I would like to give it to the Baron, and with him negotiate that from this moment forward. In a hostage situation, diplomats walk. Diplomats are not tortured. I'll give it to him, but that's what I would like. So, and if he says no, I'm still going to give it to him. So, all right. Because
the house is here, by the way.
The Baron is here?
In Karnath, anyway. The headquarters of Denith is in a Karnathian city, which I don't think it's Korth. I think it's like the next
I think it's the 12 is over Korth, actually.
The 12 is, but that's not
the Baron wouldn't.
Okay, the Baron's not, but like we have to look it up.
I will ask Glenna. Where's the Baron?
I will tell you as soon as I remember.
While Ryan's doing that, Ludwig will just kind of ponder off, like, how many of you study history when you were younger? Any interest in it?
It's a passing thing for me.
Same.
I read a lot.
I remember the military. Well, with Karnath Military School, you tend to learn a lot about old battles, of course, and old empires. There was this whole phase where I was obsessed with the Goblin Empire.
Really quick, just to put it in there. Lena will say, "Oh, the head. I knew that immediately." The headquarters of House Denith is the Sentinel Tower in the city of Carlacton, which is, well, the next lightning rail ride south. It's the next city over.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I think I know where I will be going next.
Like, it just... Exactly, and, well, thank you, Lena. And like I'll finish my point quickly. When I studied that, I was obsessed with the Goblin Empire when I was younger, and I've noticed something coming back. There seem to be these ages where something rises up to rule over Corvair. First it was the dragons, the giants had their turn, there was an age of demons, the goblins.
Can you roll a history check to see if you know all of this information?
Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, absolutely. That's fair. Like, I might be like metagaming somewhat here. Like, 13.
Yeah, I'll allow you to, as a generalized, like, the history of Congo. Yeah, armchair history stuff. Like, to the goblins, to the Wynons with Gallifar, and then something came along and broke them all apart. The last straw was what it did for the Wynons. All this talk about the need, you can't help but think, what if the dragon walks it next? I will put a point, it's a good point, but Ludwig, so I just want to put this out here as a piece of information for you guys as far as this information with Denith goes. To give the information over honorably would indeed sort of recede corruption within Denith. But to hold on to it would be, as a general thing, in support of power for Dragonmarked houses. As like a wide spectrum of where the power's going. If Deneth was quelled in an honorable way with this information, it does sort of receive power with the dragon marks through the sake of honorability. To keep a hold of it is to kind of encourage dragon mark superiority. So it's a double-edged sword. There's goods and bads of both.
Yeah, and Ludwig will finish this up by just saying,
Yeah, sorry, keep going.
it's just thoughts I've kept coming back to, especially ever since the Golden Dragon, and this showed up on skins. So, how do we feel about the letter?
That is the other thing. When you bring up the Golden Dragon, there's still a question mark over how much, who was involved in it. Because Kara kind of did it all by herself.
That's actually a good question. Adrian, is Adrian still here?
He sure is.
Adrian, the eyes have received that information now, correct?
Yes. Our Isavon Derbidder was quite happy to hear of the results despite her treatment and was more than happy to receive the information. The handoff was made this morning. So her and her people are in ownership of that. I thought it prudent to lend her the protection of my shadows until that information was transmitted to wherever she wanted it before, leading her to her business.
How long do you think before the news breaks that Kara Vath has been found by Lyrandar?
Well, there's no telling. They have a little deal between them. Lyrandar, Isavon Dare are going to have to. I don't know. It could take days. It could happen now. It's up to them how they want to organize it.
Sure.
I would be willing to bet, Ludwig, that they will acquire her first.
Yes.
And then it will become public. But perhaps only after they've had that initial round of discussion.
I'm sure. What? It piques my interest. How much do we know about the captain himself, the Deneth captain himself, who sold out this town? Does he have a reputation at all?
You can make a history check, I suppose.
8.
You're not sure. There's a couple of Deneth people sitting around, however.
I suppose we can ask them. Say, I'll ask Loisanas. Have you ever heard of this man?
Her defender, Lois's defender. Whew, you guys got me zooming through.
I'm so sorry, man.
No, don't be sorry. This is. Go for it. I'm just. I don't know. Talking. It's fine.
Okay.
You ask our wonderful Kira, and she says, "No, do you know someone?" He goes, "No, do you know Lena?" She goes, "Yes, I know."
Okay.
And she will tell you, Ebba de Dennis, yeah, she really kind of, sorry, I'm going to for a second. Say, yeah, she got her, I mean, it makes sense. She made High Seneschal around the time that this happened.
Oh, wow.
It was a border town in Syria.
Oh.
So, I guess she must have sold out this border town to Karnath, was paid by Karnath to sell out the border town that she was defending in Syria and kind of let them move in and take it over. So, she made High Seneschal for, I mean, why would I know, or why would anyone know other than the other High Seneschals?
Well, thank you very much. So, there's another question about what we all want to do next.
Get the hell out of here.
Agreed.
Agreed.
The-
So there was a border town in Syria.
Yeah, sold it out to Karnath. Which is why I assume Crimson Butcher knows about it. I mean, maybe he was the one who did the selling out.
My
It
opinion.
doesn't actually, I will say the information that you read doesn't explicitly say who organized the selling out. It only incriminates Ebba de Deneth. And it is like assigned like in exchange for me taking my forces on patrol at this time and leaving only a paltry reinforcement behind, I will receive a sum of amount of money.
I'm not. Sorry, you finish.
My position on this hasn't actually changed. I still think the best thing to do is simply to give this to the Baron. And I think we can negotiate something for it. I think he'll be glad to have it.
It's a signed contract. Who's the member of House DeCanneth who signed it? And are they still alive?
Kenneth never signed it. This was a Deneth signature.
You're thinking of Karnath.
No.
Oh, Karnath. Who sold? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. What I heard was that it was sold out to Canneth. Or did I mishear it and it was sold out?
No, so it was a border town in Syria that was sold out by Deneth to Karnath.
To Karnath. Okay.
Yeah.
I did. It just must have misheard.
No worries.
Okay.
I want to also deliver this information to Prince Orgev.
I do not object to that at all.
I would like to give the document to the Baron.
That's fine. I'll just relay the details to the prince.
Very well.
Actually, if you can give me a little bit of time, I should be able to make a reasonable facsimile of the document.
That is fine.
That would be appreciated.
You would, just as a note, you would be able, unless you're forging seals.
I have a forgery kit.
As do I.
and the background to use it.
Yeah, fair enough. Just thought I'd put it out there.
But it sounds like we want to go south to meet with the Baron of House Deneth, and then head on back to Fjordland and discuss the aftermath of all this. But before we go, I think if it would be all right with all of you, there was someone I would like you all to be introduced to, if that's all right.
And we do not all. That's wonderful. We don't actually all have to go down south. Lena and I can go by ourselves, and you guys can go back to Fairhaven if that is what you are wanting to do. Or you can come with me. I'm just saying that not everyone has to go down south if you do not wish to. If you want to get out of Karnath, I get it.
You could also just courier it to him.
No.
You wanted to negotiate something, right? Yeah.
I want to actually speak to him.
Got it.
I've had about my fill of Karnath, I think.
Understood, but we may be here in the future, and I have a friend in here who is worth knowing.
I'm happy to meet whoever.
I am happy
as long
to
as
meet
we don't have to stay here any longer than absolutely necessary.
Well,
no offense. I'm not a fan of your home country.
I'll admit Karnath is a bit of an acquired taste.
Indeed.
What time of the day is it, Ryan?
It's late. You guys were up all night, so you kind of slept through. So I would say it's probably like afternoon.
Late afternoon. Would you all want to meet him in the morning before leaving, or
Sounds like a
just
great idea.
All right. I'll get a message to him, letting him know that we'll be on our way to meet him tomorrow. And I'll um I'll ask all this up front. And pardon me if this is an awkward question. What do you all believe?
In regards to
Spiritualism, religion, that sort of thing.
it has a place, but they're all just various cults.
I see.
I mean, not that cults are, and the titular head of those cults aren't anything that's not important to somebody, but
I see.
They're just cults, and they may speak to an individual, but there's no overarching, at least for me, there's no overarching, you know, this one is true and this one is not,
Okay.
you know.
How do you all feel about death and undeath?
It sucks.
Yes, it does suck. But how do you feel about undeath?
I don't know. Am I undead now?
No, it's a very good question.
That would change my opinion, I would think.
Ludvig, spit it out.
He he's a good friend of mine, Sikamoro. I consider him one of my personal closest friends, and he had the misfortune of dying, but he's pulled himself back up from that. He is a martyr in the Church of the Blood of Vol. That means
You said he is a what in the Church of the Blood of Vol?
a martyr in the Church of the Blood of Vol.
All right, that's all we needed to know.
He's not. His heart is not beating like all of yours are.
It's fine. I'm sure we all know how to behave.
Thank you. It's an awkward subject, I know. I don't expect all outsiders to kind of have to understand, but we don't exactly view it the same way people say down in Thrain might.
And the elves have got their own thing in southeastern Covair too, from what little I understand, but to each his own. I mean,
Cross, any objections?
You know, I'm a follower of the sovereign host, so I have my belief system, but look, I am somewhat familiar with Karnath's attitudes towards the dead, so look, I'm a machine. You're kind of like waves his hands like death and decay mean something very different to you than it does to me.
That's all the answer I need. Thank you all very much. I'll make sure I send him a message that we'll be paying a visit in the morning. And I guess I'll go do that now.
Yep. Easily done. Send a message. Mm-hmm. Hey, buddy, I'll be visiting.
Bringing friends in the morning.
Meet my friends. Come down, have a couple of drinks. Cross, you wanted to have you see having a bit of a private celebration of his own is in disguise. Wearing the same outfit but physically disguised is Mr. Shadow, sitting over by the bar. He's got himself a bottle and a single glass, and he's kind of enjoying himself by himself.
What's the name of this face?
Oh, I don't have a name for all of them. Sometimes I just like the way they look. I'd offer you a drink, but, well, you guys don't drink, do you?
No, I've worked. Yeah, so many people try to offer me food and drink, and it's very strange because I quite clearly can't. There's nowhere to put it.
Right, right. Should I offer
Regard,
you mortar oil or something? But I don't know. It's the polite thing. I don't spend a lot of time around Warforged.
true. You could just don't offer anything just to get to the point would be best.
All right. Well, you
Which,
came over here, and he'll offer you a seat.
yeah, your information was well invaluable,
Hmm.
and so well when it comes to dealing with diplomatic engagements, information is key. Leverage is key. I know someone of your position would be loath to be tied down, yes?
Yeah, I guess. But you guys don't seem like tied down people, you know?
My original intention was to try and perhaps hire you as something of a, I don't know, personal contact for Holden, but he's
Been thrown under the bus if the rumor mill's anything to go by.
disappeared for certain. So
I guess he
I
didn't
would
like me.
pity because I liked Holden. I liked his for as surprising as his little bit of thievery was. I respected it.
Mm.
The initiative to screw someone over without hesitation. There's something admirable about that.
Yeah. Well, as somebody who goes by many identities, I get it. I mean, when too many identities get figured out, it tends to spook a guy. You probably, no.
Still, based on what you've managed to achieve for us, I can only say that having someone like you
Mm.
close at hand is a great boon. I'm no thief. I can't change my face or sneak around.
Oh, well,
So,
I'm no thief either. At least not a personal stuff. But that said, a guy's got to eat, and we've only really been trading information lately. So I'll tell you what, I'll share something pretty important with you if you throw some gold my way. Whatever you think will value, whatever you think is, whatever you think my contributions have been worth. Your choice.
just looking at like what I have on hand, what I have in my bank. I'll toss him 50 gold pieces.
He'll accept that happily.
Yeah.
Says, very kind. And he is going to sort of look around and sort of almost sigh to himself. Um, and he is going to, uh, he's going to remove a part of his shirt, like so, and like
Yeah.
kind of just like at the nape of his neck, like right there is a mark of diplomacy. They say, "You better fucking hire me."
You know, this I had just the strangest feeling that we haven't worked out the trial of Siberius yet, and I've been just kind of in the back of my mind trying to find folks I would like to try and induce the market. And if you'd already have it, well, that's just fortuitous, is it not? So yes, you have the right. Well, with the mark, you have the right to be a part of the house, so
No, don't worry. I don't expect anything much. I get it. You guys got history. You were all there when that thing blew up. But, well, I hope you don't mind the covertness. I wanted to get a feel for you all to see if it was a good idea. You know? But you all handle yourselves real well.
hmm. Hmm. This is good. I was hoping to have you, well, wanted to hire you personally, but it seems that destiny has hired you for me.
Well, we could always keep this from the others for a little while. Me and you could have some fun.
If that's what you desire, I have no objections. You may
I don't have any
remain.
desires. I just find myself with a silly little mark and a couple silly little people who have a similar thing. So, see where this takes us, huh?
Very well. I'll keep the secret.
Oh, sure. Or share it. It's yours now. You paid for it.
I think it will be. I think for your line of work, keeping discretion is more fun, more valuable.
Hmm. Well,
Would you
here's
ever
to.
decide you wish to be formally granted your title and station, just say the word.
Will do. We'll see. We'll see if you guys crash and burn or rise into the sky. I guess I'll make a choice at that point.
As a
I
pawn
mean, I
thing,
don't. Oh, go ahead.
I divulged every last piece of information about the butcher to you as trade. Currently, in the interest of House Leora, if you're gonna sell it, be good for a damn good price.
I mean, if you guys want to give me some of that blackmail, and you want me to go find the highest bidder, I can bring you back no small amount of coin. It would certainly help me make some connections.
Hmm.
Information
Now,
just makes me all the stronger.
for now, just sit on it. Karnath wants us to. Oh, Shell doesn't even know. Can you believe he offered us a job after all of this?
This is the strangest interview I've ever heard of, but
It
at
was
least Karnathi are
all
bored, I suppose.
a bit of a messed up test. All that. I mean, first thing I asked is, why did he leave all the stuff just there when inviting essentially like strangers into his home? It was by intention to see if we'd take it.
Seems a little exceptional and personally risky, don't you think?
I thought the same thing, but yeah, if you read, if you'd seen his diary, the man is a bit, say, unstable.
Hmm. Hey, who knows? Maybe someone told him to do that. Maybe someone else was testing you.
Well, the job is for the Carnathic government, not for the warlord personally, so might well be right, but it's not.
You can always try and find out. For a price, of course.
The Svol sympathizer in Kaz's court, you said you knew, or at least you had a suspicion.
If I could hear the audio log, I could probably figure it out. I mean, identify the voice and all.
Is Rowan like in sight?
Yeah.
I'll kind of like back into Rowan.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I was just asking Mr. Shadow here about if he knew who was speaking into the crystal. I figured might be worth letting him listen in, see if he can pick out the voice.
She'll reach down to Spot, get the coin.
Sure. So you just give it to him, and so he listens to it, and he is going to make a check. That would be Advisor Vorik Ear Satyr. He is a member of the Inner Circle, not a warlord specifically, but trusted by the king. I can learn more if you want. I mean, I've bumped shoulders with them as one does, but I don't know a lot about them personally. Would it be too hard to learn more if you want?
For now, put a pin in that. If we end up taking on the job from Karnath, that information may be come into play, but we'll soon be departing. Which, speaking of, we'll be heading back to Fairhaven within a day or so.
Fairhaven. I liked Fairhaven. I
You
almost
should
caught
come
up
with
with you guys at
us.
Fairhaven. Oh, yeah, I'd love to. I mean, you guys are so.
Cross, did you offer him a job?
I did, and I think you find. I think I don't mean to put words in your mouth. You find us fun enough to stick with.
Well, for a man in my position, it pays to stay close to the people who are getting the information. So, as you guys always seem to be getting yourselves really in deep with the most interesting people around, certainly pays to be hired by such an exceptional group. Well connected, though.
As long as we have the coin, he'll supply us with the necessary, well, whatever information we ask for.
Damn right.
Do I see any of this?
You see Rowan and Cross talking to an individual who, by the basis of the story, you'd assume is Mr. Shadow.
I'm gonna go up and start slowly going over there. Not interrupting or anything.
Yep.
And
And he'll look over at you and say, "Ah, this is the person we've been trying to free all night, huh?"
Yep.
and no small part to you, I believe.
And he'll say, "Mr. Shadow."
Ludvig Drager of House Leora.
I'm curious, does that make you? Are you still a noble because you're a part of a house?
We're still walking. That's a conversation I need to have with my father. Oh, Lord. Oh, by the blood, my father.
Oh, that's right. You actually do need to go see your dad before you can go to Fairhaven. Lois and Cross. Yeah.
We could hit the south with the Neath on the way back from that.
Well, I await the express command of my employers to start telling or gathering whatever information you please, or just, serve you all with my dazzling personality all the way to Fairhaven.
Actually, there is something, but you know what? I'm glad I just remembered. And I will take out that fucking list from ages back with all the initials.
Oh, from the
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to start looking.
I don't remember this at all.
This is back when Holden found all of those papers in the hideout from the terrorists who attacked the dragon.
I investigated the medicine. This is from a very thoroughly cleaned out crap scene in Fairhaven. It's all that remained hidden under a bookcase. I think it's a bookcase. Initials, but I have not been able to match letters to names.
He'll take it. Well, just tell me everything you know, and I can definitely start to get to work. The more I know, the easier it'll be.
The scene itself was damn near spotless. There was two major things to note. There was a lot of blood, well, remains of where blood had been cleaned. excessive amounts, I should add, and
Hmm.
large claw marks in the walls, as if some sort of, I don't know, what was this, some sort of beast had done it. But it was in the middle of the city. Where would you even find a creature capable of gouging out sections of a wall?
Interesting.
And I'm going off memory. I think it was two bodies, like two chalk outlines.
Man, that was so long ago. I'll go start peeking through my notes. If we want to just say that you just like tell him everything you know
Yeah.
about,
Five. It was five bodies marked.
yeah, it was a couple.
Claw
Uh,
and a bludgeoning weapon.
do you tell him that you believe that this is related to the terrorist attack of
Yeah.
the Golden Dragon?
Yeah, I'll say this is. I would say that it is too great of a coincidence that a murder of this magnitude should occur on the same night as the Golden Dragon attack. Wouldn't you say?
I'd say some looks like someone was either
Covering their
very angry or
tracks.
yeah, right on cue, Viceroy. I'd have to agree. Looks like someone was, I don't know, man. Claws, though. That's proper slaughter. And one individual, too. It'd have to be pretty powerful. Well, I could start getting to work on that.
Hmm.
So I guess I'll hang out with you until Fairhaven, and then I'll go about my business and just see what I can scrounge up.
That would be most helpful. Gosh, there's so many things now that I have someone of your skill set, but we'll start with that.
All right. It's good to have work.
Welcome
Just
aboard.
make sure you have gold to put in my pocket.
Happy hunting.
We will have much more of it once we get back to Fairhaven. But again, welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you.
I assume a service station is easy enough to reach you.
I try and make myself hard to reach, but I will be sure to reach out regularly. And besides, I'll be with you until Fairhaven. I mean, the best place to start is where it all happened, so I'll stick by until Fairhaven, and then once we get off the train, I'll go my way. And I guess you guys are easier to find than me. You're at the Demise in the city, so I could just send messages to you with updates.
True. I suppose so. There might be someone we want you to meet once we get to Fairhaven, but that's once we get to Fairhaven.
I would appreciate it if until further notice, my involvement with House Liara was kept on the down low.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
I would
that is
actually rather that,
guaranteed.
for the time being, you stay quietly in the shadows if you don't mind. We have
I would,
use for someone who doesn't stand out, and unfortunately, we appear to have misplaced our guy who does that.
Yeah.
he will be then until further notice. Shall we say that I am just simply, perhaps, and like looks you up and down, Ludwig, and says, perhaps Viceroy Ludwig's personal consort until further notice.
When you say
Oh, wait, you're dating that fox from Fairhaven with the lawyer office, aren't you?
like I have no idea what you're talking about. Like he suddenly stops smiling. Like I have no idea what you're talking about. It's a good day.
Well, if you've already forgotten her, then we have no problems, do we?
Because like
Right? Like exactly.
I am going to bed. Good night.
Well, you'd be more than happy to let me know what identity you'd like me to play as I am being low key with you guys. I prefer not to be a servant, you know? It'd be cool if I'm, well, sitting in first class with all of you, I could sip the wine, you know? But, yeah, I'll tag along, though, you know, keeping it on the down low.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
All right. Well, I'm going to go back to my whiskey bottle, but it's been good chat. And he'll saunter back over and complete his bottle until he is in a right stupor over the next couple hours. Sweet. So, you guys are like, let's get on a train, get the fuck out of here. So it sounds like, Rowan, we're not leaving just yet, but I just want to know where everyone's heading. Rowan, you're heading to Carlacton because you want to go to the Sentinel Tower, right?
That's correct.
Got it.
And
And the
I
rest
am,
of you. Oh, yep.
if there is a way that I can talk to Mr. Shadow that's like not going to grab everyone's eyes between now and everyone leaving, I would like to. It doesn't have to be the second.
Super easy to do. He is a big fan of private conversations. Um, so we'll handle that in a minute. But I didn't expect Mr. Shadow to be like this bigger character. I'm
Yeah,
glad
he's
everybody likes him.
we love him. He's a sneaky dude who's good at his job.
Yeah, at some point during your, I don't know. Let me just say that I didn't expect him to have the dragon mark until he became so popular, and then perhaps, narratively speaking, the dragon mark is pretty popular.
And necessary for the narrative.
Well, he could
That's
stay around either way, but felt like a
Yeah.
fun,
We like him.
the first person
like
out of
him
the
a lot.
wilds. Cool. But anyway, the rest of you, Cross, Ludwig, and Lois, you guys are heading where? I know, Ludwig, you want to go talk Daddy-O, so you're going up to a tour?
I'll message my dad in the morning saying I'm coming up with.
I mean, you've already, as a reminder, you've already messaged him and told him that you were bringing people.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just give him update saying I'm okay. I'm bringing a few people. It'll be a quick stop. I also have something for you.
I also have something for you. So that would be, it sounds like 17 words. So that'll be 34 silver pieces, 3 gold, 4 silver. First of us.
3 gold, 4 silver. Okay. By the way, I don't want to put 4 silver. Okay. Quick thing, by the way. Rowan, was the completed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's complete. Awesome. Yeah, I'll just have that.
No, we rolled for it and everything.
Okay, it's
It was
awesome.
like it turned out really well.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
So I'm to understand that the 3 of you are heading to Bastion to meet with the ear draggers, right? Or the draggers.
No, I think Lois and Cross are going back to Fairhaven.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those
Yeah,
Cross
we're-
are going back to Fair.
Yeah,
I'll meet whoever Ludwig wants to meet in the morning, but from there it's to the train station and the hell on out of here.
Got it. Fair enough. Okay. Got it. I just wanted to know where everyone was at. So, yeah, let's get that combo out of the way. Rowan, you could very easily signal to him, and he'll follow happily to wherever private corner, and he'll say, "Viceroy."
Rowan, please.
Rowan.
I don't hear my name very often. I'm going to ask a personal favor. You don't have to do it. I will owe you one.
I like being owed. Owed is fun.
Need to start a rumor. And with your ability to change your face, that might make it easier for you to do once I'm out.
Okay.
I would like to buy Holden some cover. Give him some time. I know he knows how to disguise himself. I know he knows how to get out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm partially asking for your opinion here, but there's a rumor about Holden that's out. What if we conflate his name and say conflate his name with the creature, right? And say that the warlord already had him. Holden knows how to change his face and his name. We just got to give him a little time.
Problem with that, I mean, you could do it, but the problem with that is that if you're acknowledging the creature in public rumor, you're also acknowledging Fjarl and Irani's.
No. You're right. Again, I just wanted to give the guy some cover.
I mean, listen, from me to you, I've been tracking Holden for a while now. It's been a big pain in the ass. I've never had such a pain in the ass tracking somebody. Thankfully, his name got posted on the Cornbread Chronicle. That's actually where I picked up after a cold trail. So, I think if there's anyone who's going to be able to get out of town without issue, who isn't a train jumping, is going to be Hold. So, if you're worried for your buddy, take it from one charlatan about another. I think he'll be okay.
I don't sell out my people.
And nor have you.
She will stand up and go to bed.
All right. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Got it. So you all go to bed on an early night. Next morning, you all wake up, and Vicer will be like, "Come on, Vominus. Let's go see a scary person."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if he wanted to, I guess Mr. Shadow would be welcome to tag along with me to my dad, I guess. I could introduce him as like he's my assistant from on there, I guess.
Mr. Shadow says, he looks around, he says, I mean, you guys are having me look into this list of names to do with the terrorist attack.
No, he's busy, Ludwig.
Okay,
He needs
you're
to
right.
go back
And
home.
also, it's a little public. I'm not a.
Yeah, okay.
No.
I mean, I have to some. I've never had a problem with that. I mean, if you want me there, I can learn more about your family and sell those secrets.
Why don't you stay on target with what we got you doing?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I guess I'll just go with Cross and Lois. I just, how do I know you guys? Can't be a relative. I can't disguise myself as Warforged. I've tried it. It hurts. Boy. I'll think of something.
Yeah.
A bard?
Oh, yeah, I'm your traveling musician. Just don't make me sing. I'm not that good at it. That's not true.
Storyteller. Someone taking up the chronicle. Like who is this House Leora? I don't know. I'm sure that there's something you can do to keep you in first class for a day, right?
I'm a creative guy. I'm just making fun. We'll be good. I'll behave. And then we get to Fairhaven, I'll see about cracking this little list of yours. With that, he'll say, I'll go get the train ready. I don't know. Get the train ready. You four will take a carriage down to the Temple of Vol. You guys you get to the North Temple District and find yourself at this small basilica-esque structure, small being very relative. It is a tall, big, beautiful building. And as you enter within, as I've said previously, very dark interior. The signia of the Blood of Vol is present, that blood drop, very present. And amongst them, you're going to see very much like a risen dead pharaoh of sorts, wearing a very tall, sort of wide-colored hat or mantle of such, extraordinarily thin, wrapped in linen for the most part, and quite diabolical looking to some extent, bearing symbols of his religion, will be Seeker Moro, a priest of the Blood of Vol, and approaches and says, Good morning, Viceroy Ludwig, and to your friends who I have been excited to meet as well. Welcome to our temple.
Thank you for your greeting, your enemies.
I am certainly no royalty, but thank you, and for the respect nonetheless. Seeker will suffice, thank you. Or just Maro to friends of Ludwig.
Moro, this is House Leora. Before you stands Rowan, Cross, and Loisana.
And from what I hear, you've all been very busy here in Korth. Had a very exciting night last night.
Karnath is a very exciting place.
I was invited to that masquerade, but I didn't figure someone of my, you'll kind of like look at his decrepit skin. He says, my appearance and potential scent isn't very easy to disguise, so I elected to stay away.
Feels like I'm just feels like it certainly would have been interesting with you there. Not sure.
Well, it is an honor to meet all of you. And should you require anything of the Blood Vole, please feel free to make contact with me. A friend of Ludvig is a friend of mine.
It's been a very exhausting time in Karnath for us, but we're all very thankful, Moro.
Don't let the disposition of one warlord guise you to the entirety of Karnath. It is not a place beyond redemption.
Redemption.
Indeed.
For what?
We've all been to war. All the nations require redemption, do they not? All have warred for 100 years, all have committed atrocities in their own ways, and all perhaps should spend less time arming themselves and more time respecting what life they have.
There is wisdom in that.
I thank you for saying so. I don't mean to spout the preachings of my religion to you. It's not why you're here. But we do believe here in the Blood of Vol that life, the blood of life, is what's valuable. And it is too often here in Karnath that young men, he almost sort of looks at you, Ludwig, are too ready to throw themselves at war and death. Respect what you have, prolong it, for there's nothing on the other side worth more than what you have now.
It's like after the incident on the Golden Dragon, I think we all understand that a bit more than about as well as we can.
Indeed. And it seems you are making good use of the time you have here on this mortal plane, making waves, the papers, connections. I congratulate you on your successes.
We're honored, Moro. Sorry, this isn't a longer meeting. The trains are waiting and everyone's very busy being a track. It's very busy being a track in Mock House.
Nonsense. You should not waste what life you have speaking with decrepit old men. Go and have your adventures and build your glory.
But you're not decrepit, Moro. You're as strong as an ox.
I am literally decrepit. But thank you.
It is an honor as always, and I give him a bow.
And he will bow forth to you, holding his cane. Say, good luck to all of you. Respect the time you have, and it will respect you. Good luck.
And I'll lead everyone out.
Before she leaves, she will say, "You are not what I was expecting. And I am really glad for the opportunity to have met you. Another time, perhaps, I would love to listen to you speak." And she will bow.
He will bow and say, "You are very kind, Viceroy. I'm glad to have changed maybe some unfortunate reputations my religion holds. Anytime, you wish, I will be here, as I cannot die.
She will go about her way.
Fair enough.
Ludwig smiles to himself, seeing the positive reaction between Rowan and Morrow.
My friends are getting along.
Yes.
You all board different trains. It's sort of that end of Full Metal Alchemist. Like, where are you going, brother? I'm going south. Are you going north?
I
You
haven't seen
guys
it
all
yet.
you all hop on different lightning rails. Some for Fairhaven, some for Bastion, some for the south. Very cool. There will be. So next session, I will gloss over. Yeah, I'm not gonna. We want to get you guys back together. Like you can be in separate places just fine, but I don't want you guys to remain that way forever. So we'll gloss over, transportation and all of that. We can get to the good stuff and then reuniting in due time. The one thing I'll say is Cross and Lois, as you board the train with your defenders leaving behind, all of you leaving behind Adrian as he has some stuff to clean up here in Korth.
I personally shake Adrian's hand of thank you for everything.
He takes it and shakes your hand. You get the sense he's still like a little uncertain of how well his house is going to take this as a victory or he's unsure of his
it was
status.
a more mixed bag than it seemed immediately after the auction.
Yeah, he's completely unsure if he's going to be welcomed with open arms or disgrace. He's not sure. But he shakes your hand and you can see in his eye the uncertainty and gives you a nod and says, well, I'm sure our paths will cross again as long as you're working with Fjarlin.
I hope to see you again.
You'll give you a nod. But so just for information's sake, Rowan, you know where you're going. You're heading to the next city over, the city of Carkalton, which is the seat of power for House Deneath. Viceroy Ludwig, you're going to the city of Autur, and from there you will probably take an Orion carriage up the road to the Bastion Keep that marks the pass between the Ashen Spires and the Cairn Wood. And Lois, Anna, and Cross, you guys will board a train with Mr. Shadow. Heading towards Reckonmark, you will travel by Lyrandar Ferry into Thallust and continue all the way to Fair. One thing I will tell you on the way there is Lois and Cross, as you guys receive a fresh Korenberg Chronicle, it is going to reveal that Kara Irvoth has been found by none other than House Lyrandar, making good on their reputation. She was found dead in a ditch a couple miles outside of Fairhaven, and by best estimates, has been dead for several weeks.
Yeah.
Meaning before the golden dragon attack.
That was worth $1 million. Oh my god. Wow.
Gold. You guys had it exactly right. It wasn't worth quite as much as maybe people were hoping.
Wow.
That, by the way, is why the Blood of Vol was able to figure out about it, because they could contact the dead spirit of Kara Irvath and learn the information. Taken by Fjarlin and auctioned because Kara was already dead. She had been dead for a long
that's
time.
amazing. Well, I guess they have Speak of Dead, so maybe they could do something with that.
Divination.
You have to lead, but like, oh wow, like imagine I can't imagine like what Kenneth, Lyrandar, and
Ross.
Actually, there's still something you can do with that. There's still something you can do with that. There's that does not hurt us. We're fine.
I have Speak of Dead.
You do have Speak of Dead. There are certainly some bidders out there who are wiping their brow. And there are other bidders who are going, fuck!
The eyes of Von Dale, like, We spent $400,000, 400,000 gold coins for this.
Again,
So
it's actually
it's a lead.
Well, you got to remember that Lyrandar wanted the information to save face, which is what they did.
Yeah,
Eyes of Ondair also wanted the information to save face with the Queen, which they did. It's probably Kenneth West, most of all, who's going.
Yeah, but Kenneth West had one objective, and they did it.
That is true. They did manage to block east, but it's.
And if they negotiate something good with the Eyes of Ondair for it, it could be very worth it. Like
you're absolutely right. It's bittersweet, but you're absolutely right.
Oh, that poor Kenneth West guy! Like, wait, that's what it was.
There's a reason that Rowan went and talked him up, because she knew. Again, Rowan didn't think that Kara was worth that much, and has said as much from the beginning.
Yeah,
you all have largely. Holden did. You did, Rowan. I'm pretty sure one or two of you also did. You guys pretty much knew from the get-go it wasn't going to be that worth that much. And I don't know how you guys knew. You guys were just like, it's not going to be worth that much. I was like, how?
I think it's because it's kind of like, there's no way it was just like, there's no way it's like a one-woman job.
She was a perfect cutout.
Rowan explained her logic too many times. Yeah.
Whoever was putting up the cash, they needed a cutout to clip.
She was the messenger.
Yeah.
Not the mastermind necessarily. She can't do all this stuff. But like, God damn.
That's fair.
Some people are like, Thrask must be thinking, we nearly gave up over 300,000 dragon shards for this.
Yeah, Thrask is like, okay,
like
not a loss.
No wonder we couldn't find her. She was dead.
When Ludvig
she was fucking in a ditch somewhere, which is buried in a ditch. When
Ludvig reads it on the Kronberg Chronicle, he just can't throw back his head and just laugh out loud. It kind of puts off everybody else around him.
Well, you guys are in first class. It's just you guys, so who gives a shit?
Have you seen this?
Where was the body, by the way?
It's found a couple miles outside of Fairhaven, buried in the woods, basically.
Oh, wow.
Buried 6 feet under in the woods, a couple miles out.
So maybe it would have been better.
I'll put out there. I'll say that this was definitely an element. Cause of death: large clawed creature killed her.
Hey,
I'm sure that would make the paper. It's big news.
Okay. Oh boy.
So Lois, you're up. Kronberg Chronicles coming up next week. Your article, as you wish for it. Go for it about House Leora.
And I just remembered something. Like, I was gonna ask Lois this session if at one point she could do an interview with Morrow about the blood of Vol and what it's like being dead, and like put a more positive spin on it for
a puff piece.
Yeah, a puff piece. For,
well, Lois has been assigned to the House Leora.
Lois has an assignment.
Yeah, but like, she could pass it along to somebody, or have someone else do it. A buff piece.
Yeah. Come on, make the blood of Vol. Make blood of Vol great again.
Make it seem, improve our PR a little bit, you know?
Unfortunately, that old terrorist group, the Emerald Claws, really tearing them down.
Mm-hmm. It's like claws. The death was claws and like bludgeoning or something like that, right? For like the ones in the terrorist house.
The terrorist house was like ripped apart by like claw, some big creature with claw teeth.
Yeah, my notes states claw / like some big natural clawed weapon, I think, and then also like a bludgeon, like someone was like smacking their head with a.
Yeah, if one didn't know better, would say an owlbear ran through and ripped them apart.
Yeah,
that's essentially what it looks like.
Now I'm curious, like, what would have happened if Thorani did get that information? It's like feels like, oh no, it's a corpse.
It would have looked.
Yeah, they could have gotten some money for it.
The purpose of Thorani getting it would have been to be like, yo, Fjarland's an idiot. Like, look at them try and do this under our nose, and we just took it, and then.
Yeah.
You know, so the point was to just basically like one up Fjarland and be like, bitch, we got it.
That was not worth $1 million. Wow. They were bluffing hard.
Things have a value of what you put on it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wow.
Yep. Someone spent how much money on a the Nana take to a wall at some point here in the real
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Wow, that is an amazing gag, Ryan. Thank you so much for that detail at the end.
Yeah, we're interesting stuff.
We're in it now.
All right,
Wow.
guys. Well, I'm gonna let you go. I got quite the calendar entry